All right. Good evening, everyone. Today, we're going to do a live reading of Goosebumps, Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls. And I have to keep looking at the front cover because I keep forgetting what it's called. Also, thank you, Annie. Right then, this is being filmed for YouTube. It's going to be a full live reading. So, all sound alerts are turned off. All redeems are turned off. I will only be responding to highlighted messages. But I'll acknowledge that one. Hello, Cat Dad. Welcome in. Are you ready? I do have tights on. If you're very good, at the end of the stream, I'll stand up. But until then, I'm not risking it. Thank you, Cat Dad. Right, big sip of tea. That is incredibly hot. Thanks, Firmus. Okay, then. Are you ready for me to spin you a yarn? Well, I'm going to start now-ish. Let's see now. Where's the page? How do books work again? Book isn't game. I don't know how this works. I can't see an X button anywhere. Fuck, oh, I'm not going to do this. Oh, I'm going to die. Okay. Okay, for real now. We'll start. Are you gathered? Are you gathered all your teas? You got a nice hot drink? You got some cocoa? You're all relaxed? Yeah? Good. Let's do this. Wait a minute. Which Goosebumps is this? Second Graveyard Ghouls. There we go. That is the one I'm doing. Let's raise it up a bit. I've moved my camera slightly. I don't know where anything is anymore. Hey ho. Oh, sorry, addendum. There is a massive party going on one door down, but they're very loud. I hope it doesn't pick up on my microphone, but there's nothing I can do about it. They started about half an hour ago, which is frankly annoying. Hey ho. Hopefully you won't impact things. Anyway, that's enough. We'll start again. Alright, let's go. Let's chat out. I'm going to edit here. Let's say 5 minutes in. I'm going to edit here. And this is where the YouTube video starts. Let's go. Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls by R.L Stine. Ooh. Chapter 1. My Hometown by Spencer Casimir. That's what it says. My name is Spencer Casimir, and I live in a town called Highgrave. If you lived in Highgrave, you'd know how it got its name. You see, an old graveyard stands high on the hill that overlooks the whole town. You can see the graveyard from just about anywhere. From Main Street, from my classroom. I can even see it from my bedroom window. If you live in Highgrave, you can't escape the graveyard. Even the sunniest days aren't really sunny here. Highgrave Hill casts a dark, deep shadow over the roads, the buildings, the treetops down below. On clear days, you can look up and see the old gravestones on top of the hill. They gleam like crooked teeth in the tall green grass. Spooky, innit? At night, when the moon hangs low over the hill, the graveyard becomes a frightening place. An eerie grey mist clings to the hill, and the gravestones appear to float free. Yes, the old tombstones seem to float by themselves, to float over the shimmering mist. We made a mistake by making them out of polystyrene. To float over the town, over my house at the bottom of Highgrave Hill. I guess that's why I have nightmares. Oh yeah, fair warning, I will go off on tangents and add lines that aren't there. See if you can spot which ones. Hello, Shadow. Happy Halloween. You haven't missed much. We've just been talking about gravestones. I cleared my throat and lowered the pages of my essay to my side. Oh, I've got to do that. I can't read the book. Reading a paper in front of the whole class makes me really nervous. My throat felt as dry as sandpaper, and my hands were so wet they smeared the ink on the pages. Very good writing, Mrs. Webster said, nodding. She had her hands clasped tightly on her desk. Good description, Spencer. Don't you agree, class? A few kids muttered yes. My friend Audra... How the hell do you pronounce that? Audra Rusinas. Let's hope that doesn't come up. Smiled and flashed me a thumbs up. Behind her, Frank Foreman. Oh, that's a name. That's a Resident Evil game, that is. Frank Foreman yawned really loudly. that caused his buddy pal. Shit, you know, it says his pal buddy, Tanner. I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your pal friend. And so on. Just burst out laughing. A few other kids laughed too. Mrs. Webster narrowed her eyes at Frank. Then she turned back to me. Go on. Read the rest, Spencer. I glanced up at the big clock. I said clock. Above the chalkboard behind her. Are you sure there's time? The next part of the paper was kind of personal. Kind of embarrassing. I knew it would probably give Frank and Buddy a good laugh. Like the last paper I had to read to the class. I wrote about the only thing in the world that terrifies me. Spiders. Frank and Buddy never let me forget that paper. After I read it, I found a spider in my desk every morning for a month. If I say it in a silly voice, it gets spooky. That's how this works. Read until the bell. Read until the bell, not till the bell. Forget it. Mrs. Webster insisted. I cleared my throat again and started reading. No, I've already begun that bit. You missed a bit. Some nights I dream about the graveyard ghouls. Everyone in my family dreams about them. One night, my 8-year-old brother Jason woke up screaming, They're coming to get me! Yes, the terrifying Halloween banana carrots are coming to get me. So I haven't shown that off on the screen yet. I thought I'd do that one. One night, my 8-year-old brother Jason woke up screaming, They're coming to get me! They're coming to get me! It took a long time to convince Jason it was just a dream. My little brother and sister, Remy and Charlotte, also have nightmares about the graveyard ghouls. And I dream that the ghouls rise up from their old graves and float down the hill. They like tobogganing. They float into the muggy mists into the side of the hill and wait there, hiding, waiting for the innocent victims to come by. And then the ghouls swarm around their victims, sweep around them, wispy as the fog, and pull them up into the old graves at the top of the hill everyone in Highgrave knows about. We're doing birthdays, are we? Oh, you're 2 years younger than me. Oh, over 2 years younger than me. 85, me. January. It's my birthday soon. Hope you got me a present. Very good, Mrs. Webster interrupted. She clapped her hands enthusiastically. Very good writing, Spencer. Audra shot me a big smile. Behind her, Frank and Buddy were giggling about something. They slapped each other a high five. You appreciate the immersion I go through on this channel. I hope so. I've lost my place. Do you think you might want to be a writer when you grow up? Mrs. Webster asked me. I could feel my face turn hot. I don't know, I stammered. Maybe. I heard Frank mimicking in a high, shrill voice. Buddy burst out laughing again. Frank, would you like to read your paper next? Mrs. Webster demanded. Frank's mouth dropped open. Well, it isn't quite finished. Mrs. Webster leaned over her desk. What is your essay about? She asked. Frank hesitated. Then he finally replied, I'm not sure. The whole class broke up laughing. Frank tried to keep a straight face, but he laughed too. Mrs. Webster shook her head. I don't think it's funny, she murmured. She turned back to me. Finish reading your piece, Spencer. Maybe you will inspire Frank. Frank Spencer? Is that why he's not done it? Ooh, Betty, etc. If you've never watched Some Others Do Have Them, that will be completely awesome. You've got to watch Some Others Do Have Them. It's bloody correct. Frank let out a loud groan. Mrs. Webster ignored him and motioned for me to read. Why can't I be cool like Frank and Buddy, I asked myself. They are total goose. They never do any work at all. They spend the whole day laughing and talking and messing around. The shits. And everyone likes them. Everyone thinks they are the coolest guys in school. I want to be cool too. Oh, me too. I want to make kids laugh. I don't want to be standing up here, having the teacher tell me what a goody-goody I am, asking me in front of everybody if I want to be a writer. How totally uncool can you be? I glanced at Frank. Even though he sat toward the back of the room, I can see him clearly, now the rain had gone. His head towered over the others. Frank is a big, strong, muscular guy. I'm short and kinda scrawny, and I wear glasses. Pretend that's glasses. That's what I am, I thought. A scrawny goody-goody. I could feel my face going hot again, and I raised the pages in front of my face and continued reading. Now this is just awkward. Everyone in Highgrave knows about the graveyard ghouls. Some kids told me about them on the day my family moved here. They said that the dead people buried in Highgrave Graveyard can't rest. Do we really have to call it Highgrave Graveyard? Can't we just call it High Yard? High Yard? No, that's what Link says in Zelda. They can't rest because the graveyard is up too high. The dead have become restless, angry ghouls. Rotting and decayed, they climbed out of their graves. They cannot sleep. They can only pace the graveyard and look down on the houses below. At night, their howls and moans float over the town. If you look really closely, you can see the ghouls. You can see them shuffling through the fogs that rolls low over the hill. And if you go up there at night, the ghouls. The bell rang. Books slammed shut. Kids cheered. And there was much rejoicing. Thank you, Spencer. Sorry we couldn't finish, but that was excellent. Mrs. Webster jumped to her feet. Okay, everyone, that's all for today. She had to shout over the loud voices and scraping chairs. Can't really do a scraping chair, this has got wheels. But Spencer had given me a really good idea, Mrs. Webster called out. The room grew quieter. Tomorrow, pack a lunch and wear your hiking boots, Mrs. Webster instructed. Tomorrow, we will all climb up the graveyard. Huh? Why? Somebody called out. The teacher's eyes flashed. To summon the ghouls, she replied. I assume she's already ran that past HR. She can't just decide to go on a field trip. Is that part of the curriculum? I don't know. Is everyone shitting their pants yet? I'm down to my last pair of tights, so I better not. Feel very unprofessional. Oh, yes. Oh, you want about the book? Or you want about me? Both apply. It might be a love story. We'll see. Chapter 2. What is metamorphosis? Jason asked. Dad squinted across the dinner table at him. Excuse me? What is metamorphosis? My brother repeated. See, I can read big words. Next to him, Remy and Charlotte were poking each other with string beans, as you do, having a very wimpy sword fight. Mum was standing across the kitchen, talking on the phone. I shoved a fork full of mashed potatoes into my mouth and screamed in pain. Hot! Too hot! Dad reached into the cardboard bucket for another chicken leg. Metamorphosis? Where did you hear that word, Jason? Jason scratched his curly brown hair. He shrugged. I don't know. Well, it means change, Dad explained. Changing from one thing for another. You mean like changing your clothes? Jason asked. Remy, Charlotte, stop playing with your food, Mum called from across the room. No, Dad replied, waving the chicken leg in front of him, like a caterpillar changing into a butterfly. That's metamorphosis. Oh, he meant no as in reply to the question, not no as in stop playing with the food. Right, that's confusing. Oh, Jason replied. Why did you ask about it? Dad wondered. Jason shrugs again. Beats me. Oh, okay, if you insist. He probably heard the word in a cartoon, I suggested. Jason kicked me hard under the table. Ow, I cried out. Why did you do that? Just felt like it, he replied. Remy and Charlotte thought that was funny. They both laughed and then started poking each other with string beans again. I've got a carrot with a smiley face on it. I just have to pretend it's a green bean. Stop it, Mum screamed. String beans are not weapons. Anything can be a weapon if you try hard enough. Wouldn't it be cool if Duke could change into something else? Jason asked. He bent down to pet Duke, our black cat. Maybe Duke could change into a butterfly. The cat did it. I'm calling it now. That would be metamorphosis, right, Dad? Dad didn't get a chance to answer. Remy and Charlotte had dropped their string beans. Is that a euphemism? Now they were tossing, yes it was, handfuls of mashed potatoes to each other. Oh no, they're tossing the mash. It's going to be very messy. Dinner can be difficult in my house because we're all stupid and don't know how to eat. Sometimes you have to duck a lot. No, he said he had chicken, not duck. After dinner, Mum and Dad hurried off to a parents' meeting at school. They left me in charge of the 3 kids. I tried 3 bears before, it didn't go well. I sat them down in front of the TV and put on a cartoon. A long one. I then went up to my room. I tried to call Audra, but the line was busy. Audra invited me to a dance at the place where she takes dance lessons. I hate to dance. In fact, I never dance. We're talking, don't worry, I've got my tea on standby. I tend to sit between chapters. Oh no, I've lost my place. Not even by myself in the room, so I planned to call and tell her I broke my leg or something. No way I'd go to a dance with a bunch of kids who really knew how to dance. I tried her number again. No answer. Sighing, I sat on the edge of my bed and stared out of the window. It was a cold November night. Oh damn, I've done it a day earlier. Sorry, I'm going to have to stop this and do it again, guys, until it's November. Sorry. I will carry on then. Gusts of wind rattled the window pane. I gazed at a high-grave high. Silvery moonlight made the hills shimmer. All the way up to the steep slope, bare, scraggly trees poked up like skeletons. I pressed my face against the window glass to see to the top of the hill, and I gasped. I have asthma. Lights, flickering flashes of light, tiny but so bright they lit up the old tombstones. My mouth dropped open as I watched the lights, darting, blinking, floating over the graves, like ghostly fireflies. And then the lights faded behind a curtain of fog. The fog shimmered up, over the dark grass, over the bent, scraggly trees, covering the hill, covering the old graveyard. And I saw Kate Bush running up and down. And I heard a horrifying moan. Through the window pane, I heard a long, low moan floating from the hill. Human and animal at the same time. So cold, so sad, so near, and dear to my heart. Again, are we all spooked? Is this the scariest book you've ever heard? Is this the worst live reading you've ever heard? Answer on a postcard and won't read it. Chapter 3. The next morning, a raw, damp morning. Oh, I get those all the time. We all followed Mrs. Webster up the hill. I lifted my eyes to the sky and put them back in again because it hurt like hell. No puffy white clouds, no bright patches of blue, no sun, just a solid slab of grey that stretched as far as I could see. Is this set in England? An icy wind blew down from the hill. The scraggly trees shivered. Their bare limbs waved at us as if trying to warn us away. Listen up, explorers of the past, Mrs. Webster called, gathering us in a circle around her. Let's see what the old gravestones reveal about our town's history. It probably reveals that people died. I shifted the backpack on my shoulders. I couldn't find my backpack this morning, so I had to borrow Jason's. It was a babyish backpack. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Bright purple and way too small for me. Jason loved it. I knew he'd be really angry if he knew I borrowed it. I planned to get it back home before Jason missed it. I heard someone hurrying up behind me. Hurrying up behind your butt. They couldn't move out of the way fast enough. Cool backpack, I heard Flank exclaim. He tugged it down hard with both hands. Can't say nothing. And I stumbled back into the group of girls. Frank and Buddy laughed. Some other kids laughed too. Is that a toddler's backpack? Frank demanded. It's called My First Backpack, Buddy declared. More laughter. Is that a thing? My first backpack? I get like my first dysentery, but... Haha. Ignoring them, I pulled my baseball cap down on my forehead and started to climb the hill, taking long, fast strides. Hey, what's your rush? Audra trotted up beside me. She pointed to the graveyard. Take your time. Hurry up. The choice is yours, but don't be late. They're not going anywhere. I slowed down. Hey, how's it going? I asked. I tried to turn so she couldn't see the babyish purple backpack. You're hitting on a graveyard. Very goth. I usually don't care what people think of me, but I care what Audra thinks. I really like her. She's smart and funny, and she's the prettiest girl in Highgrave Middle School. Audra has long black hair and beautiful olive skin, but the most amazing thing about her are her eyes. They're light green, flecked with gold. I always try and act cool around her. Haven't I had this description before of another character in another book? They copied and pasted. That's one reason I won't go to that dance with her. If I did, she'd see what a klutz I am. I'm hurrying because I can't wait to check out the graveyard, I lied. It's cold up here, Audra said as we reached a broken wooden gate that led into the graveyard. She zipped up her purple satin jacket. It's not so bad, I said. I wanted Audra to think I was rugged, so I unzipped my jacket. I stepped past the gate and saw a spider dangling from the fence. Hey, I cried out. I couldn't help it. I'm terrified of spiders. I kept my eye on the spider as I walked by it. I wasn't watching where I was going. I stumbled over a broken picket fence and fell onto a low gravestone. Are you okay? Audra asked. I let her help me up. I told you I couldn't wait to check out the graves, I joked. You did graves? Yeah, they're all right. Mrs. Webster began passing out long sheets of tracing paper and chunks of charcoal. Charcoal. Words are difficult. Collect as many gravestone rubbings as you can, she instructed. Oh, we're going to desecrate graves, are we? That seems ethical. When we get back to class, we'll read them and see what the old tombstones tell us. Here lies Spanky, and he's pretty annoyed. Died next year, and he couldn't be asked anymore. Oh, I'm a ghoul. I'm a graveyard ghoul. In the next row of graves, Frank staggered around, pretending to haunt a group of girls. They laughed and wrapped him in tracing paper. As you do. The girls all think Frank is so cute. Yuck! Let's start here, I told Audra. We held out our papers and charcoal and started rubbing. Then we, I'm not going to finish that sentence. The wind began to blow harder. It whipped full leaves from the trees. They whirled in the strong current, then settled at our feet. Another gust of wind swept dry dirt into my eyes, my nose, my throat. I started to cough. William Swift, Audra read the tombstone, died on the hanging tree, 1852. Do you think he was a murderer or something? I took a giant step back from the stone. He must have been a bad dude, Audra replied thoughtfully. I wonder if they said that when I was hanging. William Smith, you're accused of being a bad dude. I'm afraid you're going to die by hanging. I ain't got anything better to do. It's 1852, there's not much else on. There's nothing on the telly. Let's find some other stones to rub, I told Audra. I gathered up my supplies and started to wander through the gravestones. The sky darkened, the air grew colder. I zipped my jacket back up. I shifted a little backpack again and continued to move through the tilted, broken old stones. I stopped when I found a big grave of a double gravestone. Oswald Manse, 1770 to 1785. Martin Manse, 1772 to 1785, I read to myself. Together in life, together in death. Apart from Oswald, who had 2 years to himself. It's not really true, is it? They were buried under the same stone, I realised. I read the writing again. Oswald Manse was 15 when he died. Martin was 13. They must have been brothers, I realised. Poor Oswald and Martin Manse. They were so young when they died. I bet they were nice kids. Well, no. Definitely not murderers who died on the hanging tree. They might have been. Have you not seen Orphan? Or stuff like that? There was some more writing at the bottom of the stone, but I didn't read it. Beneath the writing I saw a picture of a bird etched into the granite. It looked like a crow. Oh, if this is a prequel to The Crow, we're in good hands. I stared at the bird. Audra will like this grave, I thought. She'll want to do a rubbing of it. What made you think that? Where was Audra anyway? I glanced around the graveyard. Kids were scattered everywhere. They'd all been blown up. Conveniently, they were in the graveyard, so we could bury them easily. Bending over the graves, struggling with their tracings. I found Audra with Frank. They were wandering between rows of crooked tombstones, trying to decide which ones to work out next. Hey, Audra, check this one out, I grabbed her arm and took her to the spot. Whoa! I stumbled again. Sorry. Whoa. or is it more of a Crash Bandicoot? Whoa! I grabbed for order to keep myself from falling, miss, and tumble forward onto the double tombstone. I asked for the double. We gave it the double. The stone creaked and groaned as I fell over it. It toppled over, making a heavy thud as it landed on the back of the dirt. I heard a small cry. Ah. The sound sent a shiver down my back. Was that you? I asked Audra. She stared down at me. Excuse me, Princess. Wasn't that you? I heard her cry. Wasn't that you? I repeated. No, it wasn't me, Audra shook her head. Did you hear it? I asked. Nope. Did I imagine it? I climbed to my feet and straightened my baseball cap. One time I'm not wearing a cap. Then I brushed off the dirt on my hands, front of my jacket and jeans. I turned to see Audra staring down at the stone. Whoa, Spencer, do you see what it says at the bottom? I squinted at the small writing engraved under the crow. Disturb our rest at your own peril. Another shiver ran down my back. Disturb their rest? Did I just disturb their rest? Time to go, everyone. I could hear Mrs. Webster calling from the graveyard gate. She was trying to leg it before they got done for criminal damage. But I stared down at the tombstone I had just knocked over, the crow lying on the ground. With a groan, I pulled off the backpack and set it against the tree. Then I bent down and struggled to pull the big stone back up. Oh wow, I muttered. It weighed a ton. I couldn't budge it. Hey, somebody help me, I called. But they were all heading down the hill, even Audra. Hey, wait up, I called after her. I let go of the big stone, stood up and took a step towards the gate. And a hand reached up from the ground and wrapped itself around my ankle. Dun, dun, dun. And that's the end of that chapter. Also, my tea's still really fucking hot. That's fun. Chapter 4. I opened my mouth to scream, but only a tiny squeak escaped. Eee! My hand tightened its grip on my ankle. I could feel the cold of its flesh wrap around me. No! I uttered a low moan of horror and kicked hard and burst free. I lurched forward. My baseball cap flew off. I didn't stop to pick it up. I ran. Ran through the garden gate. Wait up! Wait up! I shrieked. A hand from a grave. Audra, Frank, Buddy, and a few other kids turned to stare at me. Spencer, what's your problem? Buddy called. I spun away from them and stared back into the graveyard. The hand, the cold hand that had poked up from the dirt. Where was it? Where? No sign of it now. The graveyard stood silent and still. A tiny brown and black chipmunk darted between the tilting gravestones. Chipmunk did it. Go in there. I stood watching it, catching my breath, waiting for the body to stop trembling. Was it really a hand that grabbed me? The hand of a graveyard ghoul? Or did my foot get tangled in a vine or weed? I stared at the tall grass between the gravestones. Nothing moving, nothing there. With a sigh, I turned and hurried after the rest of the class. They were halfway down the hill. Running breathlessly, I caught up to Audra. She eyed me suspiciously. What's wrong, Spencer? What happened to you? Nothing, I replied. I just like graveyards. You know, I like the atmosphere. Yeah, sure. I hope I never have to go up there again, I told myself. Little did I know that I'd be back in the graveyard before the night was over, with no chance of getting out alive. Nobody gets out alive. There's no time for skin dread. If you can believe it or not, that was the end of the chapter. That was really short. That was less than a page and a half. Chapter 5 is alive. As are the ghouls. Where is my backpack? I heard Jason's shrill voice coming from down the hall. I was sitting in front of my computer after dinner, finishing an English paper. I tried reading a French paper, but I can't read it, so it's pretty pointless. Downstairs, I could hear my little brother and sister crying, and I could hear Mum sounding very stern. Howard Stern? Is she trying to play out in the Home Alone? Should be illegal to have a chapter that short. To be honest, it gets me through the book. I won't talk to you till you stop crying. Now, stop it, please. I tried to shut out all the noise and concentrate on my homework. But Jason popped his head into my room. Don't you hate words that run on from one line into another, so you start reading it as one word, but it turns out to be another one? Because I thought it said concern, but then it went concentrate. Pet peeve over. But Jason popped his head into my room. Where is my backpack? He demanded. How should I know? I lied. I need it for tomorrow, and it isn't in my closet, Jason whined. I stared hard at him, thinking, and I realized where his backpack was. I'd left it up in the graveyard. It was right on my shelf, Jason cried, and I need it tomorrow morning. His voice was climbing higher and higher. Jason cried, or shall we cry Jason? Pretend this is heavy rain. Jason, Jason. I think I might know where it is, I confessed. I shut my eyes, drew back the curtains to see for certain what I thought I knew. It's no time for that. I pictured myself in the graveyard this morning. I set the stupid backpack down against the tree. When I thought that a hand grabbed my ankle, my baseball cap flew off. I remembered, but I didn't stop to pick it up. I ran out of there as fast as I could, and I forgot all about the backpack too. Now what? Go get it, Jason demanded angrily. You tried to pull me up by the shoulders. You're not allowed to borrow my stuff. Go get it, Spencer, or I'm telling. I could still hear Remy and Charlotte crying downstairs, and Mum screaming at them to stop. If I tell Mum I took Jason's backpack and left it in the graveyard, she'll kill me, I decided. But again, in a graveyard, so it's convenient. No problem, I told my brother. Calm down. I'll go get it. Why did I say that? Was I really going to climb down to Highgrave Cemetery at night? Do I have a choice? I sent Jason back to his room so I could think. Then I paced back and forth in my little room. 3 steps one way, 3 steps back, my mind racing. I can't go there alone, I knew. Once again, I felt the cold fingers tightening around my ankle. No way I can go to the graveyard alone. I took a deep breath, picked up the phone, and called the Ghostbusters to help me out, and punched Audra's number. Could you do me a little favour? I blurted as soon as she picked up. A favour? Who is this? Spencer? Yes, it's me. Can you come up to the graveyard with me? For just a second. I need to get a couple of things from up there. There was a very long pause at her end, and finally Audra said, You're joking, right? I told Mum and Dad I was going over to Audra's to do homework. Then I slipped out the back door, zipping my jacket against the cold wind that blew from the hillside. I tested my flashlight. I nearly read that as flashlight. As I trotted through the backyards, it sent an orange circle of light over the frosty glass. Audra met me at the side of her garage. She wore a heavy down parka, and she had her hair tucked under a wool ski cap. Yes, I say garage, not car hole. Are we really going up to the graveyard to get a baseball cap and a backpack? She asked, shaking her head. I ought to explain, I said, shinning the flashlight in her face. You want to get sued? It's the backpack I have to get. I should never have... I never should have borrowed the stupid thing from Jason in the first place. See, I will read these professionally, but then I realised I can't read. We leaned into the wind and began our climb. The tall grass up the hillside was slack from the morning dew. Slick from the morning dew. I can't read consonants now. It's all gone to pot. I'm too scared. Audra grabbed my arm and we made our way up slowly. Frank called me right after you did, she said. What did he want? I asked. He wanted to borrow my history notes, but I told him I was going up to the graveyard with you. Audra laughed. Frank sounded really surprised. Why did you tell him what we were doing? I demanded. She shrugged but didn't answer. We stepped around a clump of scraggly bare trees. Their limbs trembled in the wind, making a soft creaking sound. Why did you scream up to the graveyard this morning? Audra asked. Tell me the truth this time. Huh? Me? Scream? I thought I saw something. You don't believe in those graveyard ghouls you wrote about in your English paper, do you? Audra's green eyes stood in me. No way, I muttered. No way. I can't believe this. I gazed up at the top of Highgrave Hill. No strange flickering lights tonight. No eerie mists. The moon floated low in the clear black sky. We stopped as we walked through the open gate. I swept my flashlight over a row of old tombstones. They tilted against each other as if asleep. I jumped as something leapt out from the bottom of a tall, narrow gravestone. A rabbit! 'Tis the rabbit! Look at the pointy teeth. Audra laughed. Spencer, you jumped a mile. It's only a little bunny rabbit, he said. That's actually what he says. Let's grab the backpack and get out of here, I murmured. I'm pretty sure I left it near the double grave. Oh, this explains all the grave. Look at that rabbit. Look at the bones. A crowd rolled over the moon. I struggled to see as the graveyard darkened. I raised a beam of light and swept it along the rows of the graves. I wish I bought a flashlight too, Audra whispered, and saw her shiver. It's so dark up here now. Just stick close to me, I said. I felt as frightened as Audra did, but I never let her know that. The wind whistled. It's a bit elaborate for wind. Must have been the wind. As it blew through the gnarled old graveyard trees, the bare limbs shook and creaked. Tall grass brushed against the tilting gravestones, making a shh sound. We made our way along the row of low graves. Oh, I cried out as my left foot sank into a hole. Pain shot up from my ankle. I rubbed the foot till it stopped hurting. I'm okay, just twisted it a little, I explained. I climbed a low rise and turned into the next row, and spotted the backpack on the ground, resting against a bent old tree. I hurried over to it, kneeled down, and grabbed it with both hands. The dew had frozen on it, spreading a thin layer of frost over the canvas. I brushed it off with one hand. I could hear Audra breathing hard behind me, loud, rasping breaths. What's wrong? I asked. Why are you out of breath? She didn't reply. I continued brushing the frost off the backpack, but I stopped when I heard leaves rustling in front of me. I think I recovered that. I raised my eyes to the sound. I gazed down the row of tombstones as someone stepped out quickly from behind the tree. Who? I uttered. It was an owl. No. Too dark to see. The figure moved towards me, taking long strides. Audra, I cried, finally recognized her. What were you doing over there? But then a more frightening question burst into my mind. If Audra was over by the tree, who was breathing so hard behind me? Well, I shat my pants. I don't know about you. It's still amazingly hot. Are you having fun, folks? Is this worth everything? Is this a good Halloween? Oh, by the way, if you're in the Discord, by all means, I do want to see your Halloween costumes. Let's get out of the way. Chapter 6. It is a lot of tea, but I gotta keep my throat moist. There we go. That's a spooky word of the day because it's Halloween. I'm allowed to say moist. Moist. With a cry, I spun around. No one there. No one. Someone had stood breathing hard behind me. I know. Loud, raspy breaths, so close behind. If it wasn't Audra, who was it? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Ghouls. A chill ran round my back. A backpack slid out of my hand. I bent to pick it up. When I stood, Audra had vanished again. Audra! What's going on? I cried. Sorry, her voice rose up from the grassy slope. I lost you in the dark, Spencer. There was a really awesome gravestone here. You should check it out. I swung the backpack onto my shoulders. Then I raised the flashlight and aimed it in Audra's direction. She was bent over a tiny gravestone carved in black. It's a little baby's grave, she called. Her voice muffled in the rush of the wind, and it has a long lullaby engraved onto the stone. How can it be small and have a long lullaby engraved on it? That's paradoxical. It's so sad, Spencer. That baby probably died 100 years ago, I muttered. I started over to her. The circle of orange light from the flashlight bouncing off the gravestones. I found the stupid backpack. We can go, Audra. Okay, just come take a look at this, she called. Fiddling with the backpack, I started along the row of graves towards her, but the light beams stopped on something on the ground. My cap. My baseball cap. I had forgotten all about it. All right, I cried happily. I bent down, scooped it off the grass, and screamed. Resting snugly inside the cap. A head. A real human head. How do you not notice the head before you notice the cap? Again, that's another incredibly short chapter. That was even shorter than the last one. Look, that's the whole chapter. Terrifying. I think they were trying to save money on print. Damn. How long is this book, by the way? I've not really looked. Oh, there's like an extra bit at the end. There's 116 pages. We're on 26, so we got a ways to go. Ben the spider. What if it was a spider's head? Oh yeah, I read that one. Not reading the same chapter again. It's going to take long enough as it is. Chapter 7. Dark, sunken eyes stared at me. The mouth hung open loosely, revealing black, toothless gums. I can't do that, I've got teeth. My stomach heaved, I started to gag. My hands began to shake, and the head dropped out of the cap. Boom. It bounced against my shoe and rolled onto the grass. A head, I choked out, too weak for Audra to hear. Spencer, what are you doing? She called through the darkness. My stomach heaved again. I could still see those blank, sunken eyes, because I was still looking at it. Audra, help, I gasped. A head! Someone's head was in my cap. Huh? The crunch of leaves. Audra came running over. I can't hear you, Spencer. Look, I waved the cap to my hand. Is that your cap? She asked, narrowing her eyes at me. The head, I murmured through the chattering teeth. A real head. I hope it turns out to be the head from Art Attack. That'll be a turn, wouldn't it? Or the Great Giant Head from is it Mork and Mindy? Yes. Incoming message from the Giant Head. I had the wrong show. I might be thinking of Furbolg from the show. I can't remember. That's irrelevant. She gazed down at the grass. Where? The flashlight trembled in my hand. I struggled to hold the light steady. There, I cried, holding the sides of her ski cap. Audra squinted into the light. Then she turned back to me. I don't see anything, Spencer. I stared down, moving the light in slow circles over the grass. No, no, no. No, 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 there's no limit. No head. Vanished. But I knew I hadn't seen it. Those cold, sunken eyes stayed into my mind. Graveyard ghouls, I murmured. I thought I was in some kind of legend, you know. A creepy ghost story everyone in town shared. But... Audra placed a hand on my shoulder of my coat. Spencer, take it easy. You're shaking all over. I opened my mouth to reply, but a sound made me stop. A scraping, scratching sound, followed by slow, soft thuds. And then a voice moaned on the wind. Spencer, give me back my head. Chapter 8. That's another really short one. Fine. It's about as short as a baby's grave. To go by this book's own analogies. Wow, that's still hot. I think it's going to remain hot because it's a fucking furnace. And that's what they do. Chapter 8. No, I screamed, spun around, right round like a record, baby. I heard high-pitched laughter and saw Frank Foreman step into the row of graves. Buddy Tanner followed close behind him, along with two big, beefy guys I recognized from school. Well, give me back my head, Frank declared. They burst out laughing all over again. How long were you standing there? I choked out. What are you doing here? Frank grinned at Audra. Audra told me you two were coming up here for a picnic, so how come we weren't invited? Why would the fuck you want to go to a picnic in a graveyard? It's not a picnic, Audra snapped. I told you not to come, Frank. Pricks. Well, even now, anyway, I said. I started towards the gate. I hope the ghouls get them. I hope they eat their brains. Of what little there are. Frank moved quickly to block my path. You sure, Spencer? She taunted. You sure are leaving? Give us a break, guys, Audra pleaded. You're not funny. It's cold up here, and there really are ghouls, I blurted out. I was sorry the moment I said it. Why did I let that slip? I knew they'd never let me forget it for the rest of my life. Ghouls? Buddy sneered. Hey, Frank, he really believes that stuff. Of course he does, Frank replied, grinning at me. That's because Spencer is a ghoul. Ooh, sick burn. Let us go, I insisted. But Frank grabbed me by the shoulders. The flashlight fell from my hand. It clattered against the tombstone and hit the ground and went out. Spencer doesn't want to leave, Frank insisted. Because he's a ghoul, Buddy added. He's a graveyard ghoul. Spencer is a ghoul, the other two guys repeated. They haven't got much in the way of insults, have they? Get lost, I yelled, hoping I sounded brave. Get lost. I jerked free of Frank's grasp. I grabbed Audra's hand, ready to run. Because I wanted to sound brave. Come on, Spencer. You know you don't want to leave, Frank insisted. You want to stay here, right? With the other ghouls. Leave him alone, Audra demanded. Hey, we're just kidding around here, Frank told her. He grabbed me and pinned me against a tree. I hope he's not going to jerk it. What's the big idea? I cried, starting to sweat despite the cold. Then I saw that one of the other guys had a rope, and my legs began to shake. That's all right, the rope will take care of that. What are you going to do? Audra screamed. Leave him alone. This isn't funny. Come on, Spencer. Let's get out of here. Frank pulled me away from the tree and shoved me up against a tall gravestone. You're gonna... I could feel the cold stone against my jacket. I swung my arm to hit Frank, but Buddy and another boy grabbed me. They pinned my arms behind me. I kicked my legs. I tried to yank free, but Frank's friends held on tightly. Yeah, right. You're going too far, Audra shrieked. This isn't a joke, Frank. You can't do this to him. Frank laughed. Audra turned to me. Don't worry, Spencer. I ain't going for help. She spun away from us and vanished through to the graveyard gate. Let me go, I yelled, twisting and turning, fighting to free myself, twirling towards freedom. Graveyard ghoul, the boys chanted as they ran the rope around me, trying me tightly to the gravestone. Let me go, I kicked as hard as I could, but that made them pull the rope even tighter. Bye, ghoul, Frank howled. Then he all raced out of the graveyard and down Grange Hill, I'm calling it Grange Hill. This can't be happening, I thought, struggling to free myself. Tied to a gravestone in Highgrave Cemetery in the middle of the night. Wait, please, I called to them. Don't leave me up here, my heart pounded in my chest. I felt the gravestone on my back. So cold, so cold. Please, come back. She actually did, didn't she? He's dead now. That's it. It's the end. It's the end of him. Chipped annoying. Frank, come back. Frankie, come back. Hey guys, I screamed. I could hear them laughing as they ran down the hill. Help me! Hey guys, don't leave me here, I pleaded. I tugged at the ropes, screaming for help. A fluttering sound above my head made me freeze. I felt a cold rush of cold air. It's redundant. Against my face, another flutter and something flickered against my cheek. Bats! Dozens of chittering bats! My shouts have scared them and sent them flying from the trees. I tried to duck as they darted low over my head. I saw flaring red eyes and felt another rush of cold wind against my face. Back and forth they swooped, chittering, whistling, and their wings fluttering so close. Please, I choked. Please! Another low swoop, another flash of tiny red eyes, and then they vanished into the treetops. Silence now. Except for the rabid thumping of my heart. Spencer, stay calm, I said out loud. You're not going to be out here all night. Someone will rescue you. Audra went to get help. She will bring someone. They will be up here really soon. The bitter wind of Highgrave Hill picked up. It whipped around the dead, brittle leaves on the ground. It blew dirt up into my face. The old trees creaked and groaned. A long, low moan from nearby made my heart skip a beat. Someone was dogging nearby. Where is Audra? I asked out loud. What's taking her so long? I peered out over the dark tombstones, searching frantically for her. Where is she? Did she decide to leave me out here? She wouldn't do that. Would she? I pushed forward, trying to loosen the rope. It was wound around me tightly, from my shoulders to just below my knees. It pressed my hands tight against my sides. I heaved my chest forward as hard as I could, but the rope wouldn't give at all. I twisted and turned my shoulders, trying to loosen it, but it remained taut. With all my strength, I pushed my hands out, but the rope cut through the skin of my knuckles. What's the use? I fell back against the cold gravestone with a bitter sigh. I stared out at the old tombstones bathed in the light of the full moon. Huh? Did the gravestone just shift? Did it tilt to one side? No. It looked as if it moved, but it didn't, I reassured myself. It's just an illusion, caused by the shimmering light of the moon. But I blinked hard and stared at it, just to make sure. The tombstone beside it appeared to tilt now. I heard another long moan, closer this time. The trees creaked. The wind shook their scraggly bare limbs. Another tombstone shifted. With a low creak, it seemed to lean back. Lean back. That's not a song. Another eerie moan, so close behind me. No! My hand began to pound. Head is not the word hand. My head began to pound. I have to get out of here. I twisted and turned and pushed against the rope. Somebody help me! Get me out of here! I gasped as a green mist rose up from the creaking, tilting graves, slowly at first, then faster, thicker, billowing up with a sour, sick smell. The stench grew stronger as the mist swirled around me. I started to choke. I cried out as it settled on my face, stinging on my skin, burning my eyes. Break free, Spencer, I ordered myself, no matter what it takes. But before I could start tugging, a hoarse voice echoed through my stinking mist. I need your body. It's getting a bit clinical in here, isn't it? Oh, if I know what's it is, guys. What's chapter 10? We're having fun. They're in the graveyard, so I hope this either turns into the Monster Mash or the Thriller music video. It really is going down, isn't it? I half expected Batman to show up when Bats appeared, and then they kicked Frank's ass. Chapter 10. Huh? Who's there? I agreed. I guess. I can't fucking read it. I guess. Who is it? Frank? Frank, is that you? I need your body. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. I did say that. The voice is a croak. Ribbit. More like a cough on the wind, the words so faint, but so chilling. Frank, I cried. Untie me, Frank. Buddy? I need your body. Frank? The icy green mist rose up around me. I began to feel so strange, so weak. What is happening to me? I tried to push against the ropes, but I couldn't raise my arms, couldn't tighten my muscles, my knees buckled. I struggled to hold my head up, so I felt so weak, so weak. Somebody help! I choked out, my voice only a whisper now. Your body. Give me your body. No, I gasped. But I suddenly felt dizzy. So weak and dizzy. They really like to pan out the things. They really do repeat themselves. It's not me being shit at reading. It's like they're trying to hit the word limit. I felt something pressed down on my head. Something cold and hard. Like a heavy hand pushing down on my hair. Pushing into my head. I tried to protest. P. The letter P. I tried to protest, tried to cry out, but my mouth wouldn't open. And I felt so weak. You said that. The heavy pressure made my forehead throb. My brain felt about to explode. I can't think, I realized. I can't think of words. I can't think of anything. It hurts. It hurts so much. The hard, cold feeling moved down to my chest, down through my arms, my legs. Squeezing me, squeezing so tight against my chest now. I could barely breathe. Can't breathe. Can't think. And I heard a sharp rip. Like Velcro tearing. Like a shirt tearing. I'm not ripping my shirt. Like skin ripping apart. I'm definitely not doing that. And I felt myself floating. Floating up, up. Floating free. Up into the air now. High in the high, thick green mist. Through the mist, I struggled to focus. I squinted hard and saw myself. Floating in the mist, I stared down at my own body, still tied to the tombstone. I guess that's the end of that chapter. Oh, that was a short chapter. Christ. Why would the ghouls want his body and not like the bodies of Frank? You know, like the big beefy boy. Why would he want a little nerd? They had the chance earlier. Why did they not do that? Whatever. Chapter 11. I tried to cry out. I tried to shout, to call to my body down below, but I couldn't make a sound. How can I be in two places? How can we up here and down there? I wondered, terrified. Is this the getting a high scene from Trainspotting? Might be. So I floated in the mist. I tried to raise my hands in front of my face. No hands. I swirled in the wind, trying to glimpse my hands, my feet. No, not there. I'm invisible, I realized to my horror. Oh good, we'll make another Goosebumps sale about that later. I'm me. I'm me? I'm my only mind. I'm me, floating above my own body. Why does this book repeat itself so much? And then, more horror. I watched helplessly as down below my body wiggled its fingers. It stretched out my legs, then swung its head, my head, from side to side. Then it blinked and smiled. A smile made with my lips, but not my smile. My nostrils flared. My lips moved in a way that I could never move them. They turned down in the corners, curved into a cold, cruel sneer. Are you telling me you can't sneer? Bet you could. Watching in disbelief from the mist above, I tried to scream, but I couldn't make a sound. He said that. Down below, my head turned. It raised its eyes to me, as if it could see me. Goodbye, Spencer, it said in almost my voice. A little raspy, a little hoarse, but it was actually far away. But almost my voice. Huh? Goodbye. I watched my eyes flash in the moonlight. The sneer my face deepened. You disturbed my rest. Your body is mine now. I've been waiting so long. Does no one else ever come to the graveyard? Is it just Ben? Never mind. Hey, you rose up from the grave, I cried. A silent cry. No sound at all. But I could think. Despite my panic, I could still think. Are you a ghoul? I demanded. Are you really a graveyard ghoul? Not anymore. Now I am you. He answered me. I was silent, but he heard me. He can hear my thoughts. Yum 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 yum. You can't have my body, I screamed. I tried to float lower. I just realised it's actually the word meow, not yum, but I've done it now. But I couldn't move. The heavy mist seemed to hold me in place. Do you hear me? You can't have my body. But I do have it, the ghoul answered in my voice. No, I wailed. No! He's silent. How come the ghoul can hear me? And then through the icy mist, I heard another voice in the distance. He's over there, Audra's voice. That's where they tied him up. Her words drifted up Highgrave Hill. I could see her racing up the steep slope. And who was that running behind her? My parents and hers. Where is he? I heard my mother cry. Then I saw Audra point to the tall gravestone where my body was tied. Spencer! Mum rushed off to my body. Are you okay? I watched in horror as my head nodded yes. Don't worry, Dad started to work at the rope. We'll have you out of here in no time. Floating in the mist above, I saw the ghoul's lips, my lips, spreading to a grin. A triumphant grin. His eyes, my eyes, grew wide with joy. The bitter Highgrave Hill wind picked up, pushing me forward until I floated low all over them. Don't! I screamed down at them. Don't untie him! He's not me! Please, don't untie him! We've got him where we want him. Oh, that was that chapter done as well. Good Lord. We're getting through this very quickly, except we're not, because we're only like a third of the way there. How do you think this is going to end, folks? Do you think Frank's going to die? Do you think everyone's going to die? Do you think no one will die and they'll all go home for lemonade? We'll see. Chapter 12. He's not me, I shouted. Stop! Don't untie him. But they couldn't hear me. They couldn't read my thoughts. What's going on? I panicked. What has happened to me? I can see them. I can hear them. Why can't they see or hear me? I wondered as I had drifted above them. Somehow my mind and body have separated, I realised, and I don't have a body anymore. Why didn't he go to the ball? Because he had nobody to go with. No refunds. I floated inches above them now. I could have reached out and touched them, but I had no skin to touch them. No fingers or hands. No body. No voice. But I can still see and I can hear, I told myself, and I can still feel. Well, not with your hands, you can't. I realised as the icy wind picked up and made me shiver. I haven't lost everything. I tried to convince myself there's still hope. I watched as Dag tugged at the ropes tied around my body. My body stepped free. Everyone gathered around it, all talking at once, so excited, so worried and upset. Mum hugged the ghoul in my body. Dag squeezed his shoulder. My body rubbed its wrist where the rope cut through. Stretched its arms, bent its knees. My knees! Spencer, are you okay? Audra asked it. My eyes stared into hers. I'm okay, my body croaked. Just a little hoarse. From screaming, I guess. They've used the word horse several times in this. It's a lucky thing Audra was up here with you, Audra and Mother declared. Let's hurry home, my mother said. I want to call Frank Foreman's parents. That boy is in a lot of trouble. I don't know why he tied me up, my body said. Guess he was just showing off, he smiled. That smile that wasn't really mine. Invisible, I stared down at them helplessly, choked with panic. What am I going to do? I asked myself. I can't let them leave here with him. Think, Spencer. I gazed around the cemetery and spotted my flashlight on the ground. I know. I'll pick it up and wave it in front of them. That will get their attention. Yes, you've established you can't pick things up. You're a ghost. Oh, sorry, a ghoul. Riding on the wind, I floated down, and reached out for the flashlight. Grab it, Spencer, I ordered myself. Hurry. But no. No. I couldn't pick it up. Oh, dear. I felt myself reaching, felt as if it had a hand. Felt as if it passed right through my flashlight. I'm air, I realized sadly. Wind, water, air, heart, the other one. I wonder if Captain Planet's going to show up. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. There we go. Let's get back 2 references for 1. I'm nothing but air. Let's go home. I saw Dad wrap his arm around my body's shoulder. It's been a long night. I watched my body lean into Dad, then begin to walk away. Stop, I wailed. Stop. To my shock, my body stopped. I almost forgot something, it said, and I bent down and picked up Jason's backpack. Can't forget this. So have you inherited his memories as well? It's cold up here, Audra shivered. Let's go. Wait, I begged as they walked away. Listen, he's a ghoul. He's not me. The ghoul glanced over his shoulder. He stared into the night air. At me. He can see me, I knew. He has the power to see me floating helplessly there. A gleeful smile spread over his face. Audra glanced back too. Her eyes swept over me and over the gravestones. Then she turned away and led the ghoul in my body down the hill. What am I going to do? I wailed. I have to warn them. I have to let them know he's not me. I have to get my body back. But how? I'll follow them. That's how. And I'll find a way to get their attention once we get home. It wasn't a great plan, but it was the only one I had. I watched them step through the open cemetery gate. I tried to follow, but the wind picked me up and swept me back. Can he propel faster if he farts or burps? I tried again, struggling to move through the thick mist, the powerful wind. No! I found myself floating back over the double grave of its toppled tombstone, back over the granite crow with its terrifying warning underneath. Disturb our rest at your own peril. And then to my horror, I felt myself being dragged down. Down into the darkness. Down into the open grave. Down, deeper and down. Get down, deeper and down. Down, deeper and down. No, no time for dire straits. No, I screamed. Well, it's not status quo, isn't it? I screamed, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I feel happy. But the dark earth rose over me, so cold and hard. Please, I cried out, don't bury me. I'm alive. I don't want to die. I gathered my strength. I pushed as hard as I could, but I couldn't move, and I suddenly felt so tired. Stop fighting. I thought I heard a soft whispering voice say, give in, it said. Go to sleep. Forever. Sleep forever, I thought. Yes. I relaxed. I stopped struggling. I felt my energy drain away. Yes. Sleep forever. That doesn't sound like a too bad a concept, to be honest. I like that idea. And that's the end, I'm afraid. He just slept forever, and nothing was... Nothing... There was no conclusion. That's the end. I've just noticed, right, I've got this Oogie Boogie lamp in the bag, right? It just looks like an onion. And like onions, it doesn't have an eyes because it's plastic. Let's bring it up a little quick closer, there. There we go. See, it's not a glowing onion. It's in fact an Oogie Boogie. There we go. I'm trying to pan out the stream, although I've got plenty to do, so I don't really know why. Ro doesn't have to deal with any responsibilities anymore. Ah, exactly, yeah. It's not got to worry about a pension being dead, is it? He's got it lucky, if you ask me. He's not going to get IBS, because he's a ghost. No joint pain. He's got it lucky, the little bastard. Oh, it's the spooky one, chapter 13. Don't crack your pants. Oh, he's not. He's got no body. Above me, the wind roared. The trees creaked and rattled in its wake. I heard a crack. The crack of a tree branch. It snapped and crashed to the ground over my grave. The sound jolted me, woke me, shook me to life. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me to life. No, I will not give in, I cried. I don't want to be buried down here. With a burst of strength, I forced myself up through the dirt, and out. Yes, I could feel the wind again, so fresh and cold. I floated over the graves, tossed back, then forward by the gusting winds of the hilltop. I had no power of my own, I realized. No power at all. Without a body, I was helpless. I could only go where the wind carried me. I want my body back, I cried as I tossed on the plunging, swirling currents. Did that ghoul really plan to take over my life? Did he plan to be Spencer Casimir forever? Go on now, you bet the twist is he's going to possess Frank and have his body. Do you reckon that's what's going to happen? That's actually something that could happen. I don't know, I haven't read it. Did he plan to be Spencer Casimir forever? No, I decided. He's a ghoul. He wanted to use my body to escape the grave. And now that he has it, what does he plan to do? My parents, my brothers and my sister, are they in danger? Well, they sounded like little shit, so who cares? You're not going to find the answers until you get out of here, I told myself. But how? How? Whoa. A gust of wind swept me lower. I saw a flicker of light over a gravestone, then another, and another. Small flashes of bright light flickering over all the gravestones now. And then the dark shapes began to form in the mist. Figures rising up all around me, rising from the graves. Rise from your grave. And I was playing Alter Beast all along. People. No, not people. Shadows of people. Their features pale, almost transparent. Shadows hovering over the graves, staring blankly, lifelessly, straight ahead. Tossed by the wind, I watched in helpless terror. I can't read. In helpless terror as the figures floated up, I recognized old people and young, with withered skin and sunken eyes. Arms missing, some of them toothless, some with hardly any flesh at all. A young woman drifted over her grave. Patches of blonde hair stuck to her skull. She wore a pale pink dress stained with mud, half eaten away, crawling with white worms. A man rose up from his grave. His dark hair was slicked down and combed neatly over a skeletal face with no skin and no eyes. A bug poked its head from one empty eye socket. The man grinned up at me, a hideous broken-jawed grin. A shadow of an old woman rose up from her grave, and I gasped. Shiny grey slugs. Hundreds of them clung to the bald spot on the back of her yellowed skull. She turned slowly and stared up at me with one eye remaining in her fleshless face. A man in a rotted black suit drifted up from his grave. He raised his lifeless face and opened his mouth as if tasting the wind. He then stared up at me. You're one of us now, he whispered. He flicked out his tongue, black with decay, and licked his cracked, rotted lips. You're a ghoul, he whispered. You're a graveyard ghoul. You're a graveyard ghoul, the old woman repeated, scratching the back of his head. Welcome, the old man rasped. Welcome to the world of the undead. The legend, it's true, I guess. The ghouls do climb out of their graves at night. They do float over the tombstones. Yes, the legend is true, the old woman rasped. At night we pace the graveyard. We cannot sleep. Join us, Spencer. Float over the tombstones with us. You're one of us now. You're a graveyard ghoul, the man exclaimed. I don't want to be a ghoul, I cried. I don't want to float over the gravestones. I want my body back. You can't have it back, the old man whispered. It's gone, the old woman croaked. Gone, gone. All the ghouls chanted as they rose up from their graves. Your body is gone, Spencer. You're one of us now. What it says to me. Here's something I'm not too sure about, right? So, if he's a ghost, like a sort of spirit thing, is he like non-corporeal? Is he like he's established like he's basically a wisp because he's being blown around by the winds? But then it says the other ghouls are like decaying, like they've actually got bodies, that they're not ghosts. So are they flesh and blood or not? I don't know. If they are ghosts, then why do they have rotting bodies? They're the spirits. Maybe it's explained in chapter 14. Maybe. I'll have somebody and ponder this. It sounds like a cross between ghosts and zombies. Like, which one are they? Because ghouls aren't ghosts. There's ghouls and ghosts. That's why it's called that. It's not ghouls. Ghouls are ghosts. Capcom didn't make that game. It made ghouls and ghosts. And ghosts and goblins by extension. Anyway, that's enough about Capcom. Now I kind of want to play that. Anyway, chapter 14. No, I wailed. My cry rose and fell on the wind. How did it fall on the wind? Can't fall on wind. Doesn't work. The ugly grinning ghouls ignored me as I gaped in horror. They formed a circle. Bony hands. I read that as brony hands and was terrified for a second. Oh no, it's going in that direction. Not the bronies. Fuck. Their bony hands grabbed other bony hands, and they began to dance, a dance of the dead. As the mist faded, the shadowy figures moved in and out of the moonlight. Are they doing the hokey cokey? Bending awkwardly, their legs shuffling stiffly. Hideous grins on their broken, decayed faces. Dancing, dancing as I floated over them. This is not very scary. As they danced, I felt myself being drawn to them, floating toward them, floating down towards the toppled gravestone. Shall we get a Zero Lenny reference out of the way? It floats down. There you go. Thanks to the one person who appreciated it. An invisible force pulling me back to the open grave. No, I screamed in protest. I don't want to be a ghoul. I don't want to haunt the cemetery. I want my body back. Tell me how to get it back. You think if the ghouls knew how to get it back, they'd have been doing the same thing and not dancing on their own graves? Do you ever stop to think about that? It's not all about yourself, you know. The ghouls stopped their eerie dance, and as soon as they did, I felt the force stop pulling me. He wants his body back, the old woman cackled to the others. It's gone, the man in the black suit floated out of the circle. He moved towards me. I told you, your body is gone. Yeah, but it's at my house. I know where it is. Let's go get it. Gone, gone, the other ghost to chant. I know it's gone, I shouted, but I'm going to get it. Gone, gone, the ghouls droned in hushed tones. You know, the ghouls are more annoying than anything. It's not helpful. You'll never get it back, the old man declared over the ghouls droning. Well, not with that attitude. Why not, I screamed. Don't you know who stole your body, he asked. No, I don't. He wouldn't, would he? Ghouls fell silent, no more chanting. They all turned towards me as the man spoke. Oswald Mance stole your body. Ooh, he was the older twin. He said, you knocked over his tombstone. You angered him. It was a twin tombstone, so what about the other guy? It was an accident, I said. I'll make him understand. I'll make him give my body back to me. Oswald Mance will never forgive you, the man whispered. Oswald Mance is mean. He and his brother are filled with a cruelty so deep. Some say they were pure evil. Grandpa, you said that about every person so far. I just want attention. Oswald Mance and his brother burned down half this town. The old woman croaked. They set it on fire. For fun. People died. So many people. The old woman's voice trailed off. You'll never get your body back from Oswald Mance, the man declared. Oswald is too mean to give it back. Oh no, he's too mean. What will we do? Sorry, that sort of undermines his menace. I will get it back, I shouted. I don't care how mean he is. It's my body, not his. There must be some way I can get it back. There is a way. Tell him, the old woman murmured. You'd have said I couldn't do it. Now you're saying I can. Don't fucking lie to me, ghouls. How, I cried. How can I get it back? Tell me. You must discover how on your own. You're not fucking helpful, you useless twats. No wonder you're dead. Did everyone else murder you for being insufferable? I tried to get the ghouls to tell me more, but they refused. They took up their slow dance of death. I stared at them, their gaunt, lifeless faces. I floated helplessly, watching those shadows of death, watching their ugly, twisted bodies dance, and felt the tug of the force again. Use the force, Spence. It began to pull me back down to the open grave. I have to get away from this graveyard now. I struggled against the strange force, but how? How am I going to do it without a body? The ghouls continued their silent dance, circling the graves, kicking their stiff legs, hands and arms cracking, raising their skeletal grins to the moon. Hang on, how can we dance on his grave? Is Spencer not dead? He's just had his body stolen. So where's he going to dance? He can't dance in Oswald's grave, that's not his grave. What? I'm asking far too many questions of this children's book. I felt myself being pulled down to the dark, cold grave. Then suddenly a strong wind picked up. It swept me away from the ghouls' unearthly pull. The wind carried me high over the gnarled trees and swept me with a rush to the ground. It's a good job this is taking place during a hurricane, isn't it? That'd be hilarious. I felt myself spread over the ground, over the thick carpet of dead leaves, and then I heard the leaves begin to rustle and whisper. A soft sound at first, then louder. A dry crackling. Moving through the leaves, closer. The crackling spread, grew, and became a roar. Floating in the leaves, I gave towards a startling sound, listening, until I saw the rats. May the rats eat your eyes. They moved in the dark sea of grey, rushing in waves through the leaves around the gravestones, dozens and dozens of them skittering over the ground, whipping the leaves with their scaly tails, uttering sharp squeals of hunger. Hee! Squawning, starving rats searching for food, sniffing at the dirt, sniffing at the graves of the dead, sniffing for prey, sniffing because they got cold. As I stared in horror, I saw a rabbit scamper out from behind a tombstone. Oh, we got rabbits back here. The rats rushed forward. The rabbit rose up on its hind legs, froze in fear. A tidal wave of coarse grey hair surged over the poor creature. It disappeared into the sea of grey. It happened so fast. The rats scattered, busily gnawing on the meal of tender, juicy meat. In seconds, very little was left of the rabbit. Oh, the poor rabbit. I stared at the stampeding rats, sickened at the sight, sickened and desperate. I stared at the rats and knew what I had to do. Are you going to possess a rat? Is that what's going to happen? And then is this going to turn into a plague tale? It could happen. Amazingly, guys, tea is still hot. Chapter 15. The rats gathered in small clusters, busily gnawing away at their prey. I need a body, I told myself. I can't escape this graveyard without a body. I am only air. I will be forced to float here forever, or else I will be pulled back down into the grave. Can I invade the body the way a ghoul invaded mine? Can I take over another body? Underneath me, a rat stood by itself. Stomach bloated, its red eyes glowing in the dark. A wave of sickness washed over me. Am I really thinking of invading that rat's body? I turned away from the creature. The thought was too frightening, too disgusting. Spencer, you have to warn your family, I realised. Oswald Mancy's mean. His family could be in danger. And whatever he does, you'll be blamed. He's in your body. How are you going to warn them? Some fucking rat. They'll just squeal and probably squish you to death, surely. Try, I instructed myself. Try to possess that rat. I will take you out of here. I will take you to your home. And then what? And then take it one step at a time, I decided. Feeling sick, nearly frozen with fear, I turned back to the rat beneath me and dove forward. As I plunged down, the rat's beady eyes jerked up as if they could see me. Its tail twitched. It turned as if to run. Before it could move, I forced myself onto his head. I remembered how the ghoul had pressed itself down over me, staring at my head. It had pushed down, down, down. Could I do the same thing to this rat? I concentrated. Down, down, through its fur, through its skin, into the body. Tight. It was so tight in there. Tight and hot. I tried to make myself smaller. Concentrate, concentrate. I could feel the rat twisting and turning. It squirmed and squealed in terror. It threw its head from side to side, trying to shake free of me. I concentrated harder, fixed my thoughts on the burrowing inside. Deeper, deeper. Terrifying, isn't it, Captain? The rat thrashed on the ground. It rolled violently left and right. It shook its body fiercely. Then the body quaked in a final shudder. And the creature went limp. It slumped to the ground, totally still. I gazed around me. So hot in here. Hot and wet. I tried to focus. Everything was a grey blur. I don't like how it's spelled grey with an A because it's not British. Boo. I blinked my eyes. It had eyelids. I had eyelids. Real eyelids attached to a real body. I let out a cry. I did it! I'm inside the rat! That's not something to brag about. I took over the rat's body. I moved my legs, my 4 short legs. Yuck! I let out a squeal. I don't want to be a rat. I want to be me. You fucking chose to do that, you silly dick. Don't think about it now, I scolded myself. Don't think about anything but getting home and warning everything about the evil ghoul. Does that mean the rat's now a ghoul as well? Does that mean the rat's now a ghost? Because it happened to Spencer. So one can only assume that. So now you set off a chain reaction. So now the rat's going to possess someone. What if the rat possesses you? What happens then? There's nothing about it. I'm smelling the air like a rat and seeing everything through rat eyes. I've seen the world through rat eyes many a time and I get pissed. Rat eyes, as it were. The wind brushed through my hair. My tail trailed in the air behind me. A million strange sensations. I tried to ignore them as I scuttled over the grass, out through the graveyard gate. Someone help me! Help me! I stopped as I heard a faint voice calling from behind me. Startled, I perked up my ears. Was someone calling out to me? Who was calling for help? I stared into the darkness, struggling to focus my new strange eyes. No one. No one there. So I scurried on. Help me, please! I heard the small voice again. No time, I thought. I can't go back there. I turned and trotted down the hill. What would I find when I returned home? Was Oswald Mance as mean as the ghouls said? Would I be able to figure out how to get my body back from him? Or was my body lost to me forever? I mean, you know where it is, so probably not. How many chapters is this book? 33. Oh, we're about halfway there. Oh, living on the prayer. Chapter 16. The dry leaves scraped against my belly as I hurtled towards Grange Hill. My sharp claws pierced the dirt as I ran. Running so low to the ground felt strange. The trees, even the blades of grass, towered over me. I felt so small, so defenseless. But my sense of smell was strong. Too strong. The smell of dirt stung to my nostrils. I ran and ran. A nightcrawler poked its head up from the ground in front of me. I stopped to watch it. It slithered out of its dark hole and slowly wriggled towards me. My whiskers twitched as I inhaled its sweet aroma. A fat, juicy worm. But before I could stop myself, I pounced. I sank my teeth deep into the worm's rubbery skin. Its sweet juices washed over my tongue. I chewed furiously, chewed it into a pulp, swallowing rapidly. Then I let the fur around my mouth to collect the last drop of its dark liquid. What have I done? I thought in horror. I ate a worm and I liked it. I ate a worm and I liked it. Don't copyright strike me, please. With the sweet taste still in my mouth, I started to run again. I ran quickly, but my short rat legs didn't cover much ground. My lungs burned, but I pushed harder. Home, home, you're going home. I tried to cheer myself on, but what am I going to do when I get there, I wondered. How am I going to warn everyone? I'm a rat. Should have thought this beforehand, you silly git. Don't think about it now, I told myself, panting. You still have your brain, Spencer. You'll figure it out when you get there. I scampered over a rotted log. Wet mold clung to my fur. I shook myself hard and kept running. My heart pounded. My throat burned. Does everything burn? Finally, the ground levelled off. Houses came into view, rising over me like enormous castles. I stopped to catch my breath. Where am I? I wondered. Down so low, the houses didn't look familiar. The blades of grass were as thick as a jungle. The chitter and hiss of insects were deafening. I scampered through backyards, staring up at the dark windows. As I ran, my stomach churned and growled. I'm hungry again, I realized. In fact, I'm starving. That big worm didn't fill me up. I have to find food. I have to eat. Now. The hunger felt overwhelming. It blocked out all other thoughts. Find food. Find food. I stood up on my hind legs and sniffed, my whiskers twitching. Yes, my nostrils filled with a strong aroma of food. Dropping back to all fours, I saw an overturned garbage can. It's garbage day. Silvery in the moonlight. Yes, yes, my stomach churned harder. A thick glob of drool ran from my open mouth. I plunged through the glass and leaped into the spoiled garbage. Yum! Big chunks of hamburger. Old hamburger, already turning green. The delicious odour of rotting meat made me drool even more. I grabbed up a big chunk in my front paws and shoved it greedily into my mouth. The decaying meat slid down my tongue. I grabbed another hunk. A scrabbling sound made me spin around. I saw 2 red eyes in front of me, heard a hiss of warning. Then I felt a hard swipe, a scratching blow across my throat. I uttered a shrill cry and staggered back. Another rat! 2 rats! No, more! They swarmed over the garbage, grabbing up chunks of the rotten meat, chewing loudly, gobs of drool running from their mouths. And as they hungrily devoured the meat, they circled me, red eyes glowing. They moved in, chewing the whole time. They closed in on me and raised their claws to fight. You can't really make it scary by just saying the word chewing a couple of times, can you? It's not exactly the most daunting term there is out there. Update. Tea is still hot. Well, this seems to have turned into a rat adventure. This is basically That film, that name I've forgotten. The Disney one with the llama. Returning to that. That one. Yeah, I know that one. Yes. It's generally forgotten what it is. Chin chin. Oh, fuck it. Cheers. Let's have a break for a second. Oh. You know the film, I mean. It's got David Spade and John Goodman in it. Oh. Yeah. 17. I tried to fight them off. A shrill warning hiss burst from my throat. I raised my claws and thrashed the air. Two screaming rats jumped to me, one from the front, the other from behind. I felt sharp teeth dig into the fur on my shoulder. With a squeal, I dodged under them, pulled back hard, and swiped my claws furiously in front of me. Why are they attacking me, I wondered. I'm a rat. I'm one of them. Maybe they can sense I'm different, I thought. Maybe they can tell I'm not exactly like them. Maybe it's Maybelline. What am I going to do, I wondered. I can't fight them all. Go on, you coward. Fight them all. Be fun. With a shrill cry, a rat leapt for my throat. Claws scraped over my back. I jumped free, backed up until I couldn't move. You back yourself into a corner, you silly kid. You're not out of the fight. I realised, trapped against the back wall of the house. A line of red eyes glared at me as the rats swarmed in for the kill. My whole body shuddering, I pressed my back against the stone wall and saw the cable a few inches to my right. The slender cable TV cord. My eyes followed it up along the grain gutter. The rats were squealing excitedly, claws scraping the air, jaws moving up and down beneath glowing eyes. I made my jump before they attacked. Grabbed the cable with both front claws, skittered up to the cable, scrambled over the rain gutter to the rooftop. I landed on the cold shingles with a loud plop. My heart pounding, I scrambled to my feet. I didn't glance down. I ran across the roof, up one slanted slide and then down to the other, to the front of the house. Then I hid in the wet, leafy gutter, catching my breath, listening, sniffing, all my senses alert. When I was certain the rats hadn't followed me up, I peered over the side of the gutter. To my surprise, I saw my house on the other side of the street. Home! My heart thudded joyfully. I gazed at it, trembling, as if I had never seen it before. And then, taking a deep breath, I scuttered down the gutter to the ground, and darted for the wet grass and across the street. I stopped in the front yard. The house stood in darkness. I raised my eyes to the bedroom window. Dark. Was the ghoul asleep in my bed? Was my family okay? Did I have a bit of a bed? Yes. I had to get inside, but how? I started around the side of the house. But a tingling feeling made me stop. My fur stood on end. My skin prickled. Danger! Danger, Will Robinson. All my senses were warning me. Danger! Danger. High voltage. When we kiss. When we get turned into a rat. That was a short one again. 18. My body became a warning system. I knew I should be afraid, but I didn't know why. I sniffed the night air. Sniffed the strong aroma of an animal approaching. I sniffed again. Sniffed it coming closer. I stopped sniffing. My fur stood up straight. I heard footsteps. Rapid footsteps, advancing quickly. I jerked my head around. My ears twitched, and the footsteps grew louder. I stared into the darkness, and I saw him. First I saw his eyes, large, green eyes glowing like headlights in the dark. Then I saw his whiskered face, his slender trunk, his paws moving so stealthily over the grass. A cat! Duke! A black cat. I wonder if he's got a dad. I let out a sigh of relief. Duke wouldn't hurt me. Duke trained his green eyes on me. He's arched his back. But I'm not me, I remembered. I'm a rat. I don't have to take this shit. My whiskers twitched. My body trembled. Duke's fur stood straight up. His lips curled back. He hissed loudly and pounced. I tried to dart away, but he was too fast. His claws closed around me. He pinned me to the ground. I shrieked as his claws dug deep beneath my fur. Duke held me down. He leaned over me. I could feel his hot breath on my fur. I tried to wriggle free, but I couldn't move. Welcome back. Shadow, you missed like 2 chapters about being a rat. Enjoyed all the rat. Oh, good. You still heard. That's fine. But only tiny squeaks came out. And then the cat lowered its head. I stared helplessly as his jaws swung open. His teeth clamped down, clamped down, clamped down. You stop repeating yourself, Jesus Christ. It's only 116 pages. They really did have a word limit, didn't they? And they just repeat themselves. The sharp teeth dug into my chest, and then slid down my body and dug into my fleshy tail. Whoa! The cat lifted me off the ground, and holding my tail in his teeth, began swinging me back and forth. The ground tilted up. The black sky swept down. The cat swung me wildly. This is it, I thought. I'm going to die in the rat's body, chewed to death by my own cat. That old chestnut. Oh, that's the end of the chapter again. Fucking hell. Chapter 19. No, I felt myself swinging upside down. I struggled to focus. I'm not going to die like this, I told myself. I won't let it happen. I squealed in a panic as the cat swung me around. My tail throbbed with pain. The pain shot up my body. Another hard swing. I shot out both front paws. I grabbed the fur on the back of the cat's neck. With a loud groan, I dug my claws deep into his fur, held on tight. The startled cat shot open his mouth. My tail slid from between his teeth. Gripping the cat's fur, I hoisted myself onto his back. He's going to ride the cat into battle. I like this. Gripping the cat's fur, I hoisted myself onto his back. Duke howled in protest, arched his back. Again, rose up on his hind legs. Bouncing on the cat's writhing, tossing back, I held on. And pulled myself to his sentences are hard, folks. And pulled myself up to his head. I knew what I wanted to do, but could I hold on long enough? The cat yowled and tossed his head. Yow. Holding on tightly, I shut my eyes. Now I can't read. And pushed down deep into the darkness. Duke's furious yowling seemed to surround me. I plunged deeper into the sound. Down. Oh, I'm not doing that joking. And when I opened my eyes, I stared down at the rat. Oh, did you stare down, did you? You should have said that. You've only said it 5 times in the last sentence. Yes, I stared down at the rat. Really? Look, I'm not joking, right? Look. Down. Someone needs a thesaurus. You probably can't see it, it's too far away, but fuck it. Just trust me on this. I tossed my head back and let out a long meow, and I bent down to pick up the dead rat at my teeth. Right, take a shot every time I say the word down, because it's happening way too often. Pick up the dead rat off my teeth. I carried the rat to the back of the house and dropped it beside the kitchen door. Oh, you sure you didn't drop it down? Sorry, Duke, I thought. Sorry to push you out of your body like that, boy, but I need it more than you. There are lies at stake. Wouldn't it be weird if something popped up when you type that? There are lies at stake. Many lies at stake. I lowered my head and bumped open the little cat door. Wow, I stood in the kitchen with all its familiar smells. So warm and clean. I gazed around, purring, so happy to be back here. My eyes swept over the sink, the kitchen table, the refrigerator. I spotted my homework assignments on the kitchen counter. Yes! So warm and cozy in there. Felt like curling up in my basket near the radiator. Are you on the straight? Right, so does that mean the cat's now got no... That's now a ghoul as well, right? So that's a rat and a ghoul now. A rat and a cat. The rat sat on the cat's minute. It went splat. No time, I remind myself. There's a ghoul in this house, in my body. Shaking away my sleepiness, I padded through the hall and took the stairs 2 at a time. I charged through Mum and Dad's open bedroom door. I jumped up to the foot of the bed. They lay sound asleep. Blankets pulled up to their chins. Oh, not pulled down to their chins, good. The dad snored softly. Long strands of Mum's dark hair fallen over her face. Wake up, I implored Mum. Wake up, listen to me. Come on, wake up. Hey, you're finally awake. See, we don't need sound alerts. I've got my mouth. Mum groaned and rolled into her side, turning her back to me. Dad, I cried, wake up, come on. Dad made a gurgling sound. His eyes popped open. He sat up, blinking hard. Huh? Duke? What's wrong, dear? Mum asked sleepily. She lifted her head off the pillow and squinted at me. The cat woke me up, Dad replied. It's me, Spencer, I explained. Can you understand me? Please listen. There's no time. There's a ghoul in this house. An evil ghoul. We've got to act fast. Mum and Dad stared at me as I explained. Then they exchanged worried glances. You understand me? I cried happily. Yes, you understand me. Why is the cat yowling like that? Dad asked. As if he didn't see that coming. Who'd win in a fight? A load of rats or one cat? Or a ghoul? That's the question that I've just asked. It's not a very good one, but I asked it anyway. Chapter 20. No, listen to me, I screamed. Listen to me. But I knew my words were coming out as cat cries. Ben and cat calling. That's not on. Mum pulled a pillow over her head. Get rid of him, she moaned. I can't stand all that screeching. Let go, Duke, Dad said. He sat up and made a grab for me. I leaped to the floor, my mind whirred frantically. How can I let them know it's me? How can I make them listen? I know. Why don't you poo on the kitchen floor and then spread it around as if you're writing? I saw Mum's notebook pen on the desk by the window, and a pen lying beside the notebook. I'll write a message, I decided, with my non-opposable thumbs. I saw Dad climb out of bed. Come on, Duke, he sighed sleepily. Don't try to run away. You have to go back outside. I turned away from him and jumped into the desk. I stabbed my claws out and grabbed the pen. It rolled out from under my paw. I tried again. No way. No way to grip it. I lowered my hand and tried to pick the pen up in my mouth, but it rolled off the desktop and into the bedroom carpet. Before I could go after it, Dad wrapped his hands around me. Dumb cat, it's a little late to be playing with pens. I struggled and squirmed and yowled my head off, but Dad carried me downstairs and tossed me to the back door. The door slammed behind me. It took me a few seconds to gain my balance. I still wasn't used to walking on all fours. Then I charged back up to the cat door. I lowered my head and pushed. Ouch! Dad had locked the cat door. Okay, no problem, I thought. I'm a cat. I'll climb in through the window. He's a cat burglar, you see. I scampered up the tree at the back of the house. Then I carefully made my way along the branch outside my bedroom window. Taking a deep breath, I arched my back and leapt into the window ledge. The window was open a few inches. Was the ghoul in my body asleep in my bed? The billowing curtains blocked my view. I flattened myself on the narrow ledge. A tight squeeze I saw. But cats can squeeze through anything, right? They're not an octopus. I squeezed my flat into the bedroom, flattened myself, repeating myself again. Squeezed through the window and crawled into the room. The curtains fluttered around me. I dropped silently to the floor, crossed the room to my bed. Then I hopped into the foot of the bed and gasped. Don't you mean yowled? Chapter 21. The pillows had been ripped apart. Feathers and stuffing covered the bed, the floor, my dresser. The sheets were also ripped, torn into thin strips. The mattress had a gaping hole in its centre. In the light from the window, I saw that my closet door had been pulled off its hinges. It stood tilted against the wall. My clothes had been pulled off the closet shelves, tossed on the floor. The wallpaper beside my dresser was shredded. It looked as if it had been clawed off on the wall. He really is evil, I guess. He's a monster. But where is he? Then I heard a clattering sound, a soft thud from downstairs. I spun around the door, creeping into the hall. I followed the sounds down to the kitchen. And there he stood. There I stood, in the glow of the refrigerator. I walked slowly and silently into the kitchen. He didn't see me. He was too busy stuffing his face. Leaning into the refrigerator, he jammed handfuls of food into his mouth. Staring in shock, I watched him open a jar of pickles, the bastard, and swallowed them all whole. He tossed the jar to the floor. Oh no, if the parents were asleep, wouldn't they be fucked off that the sun's gone down and just smashing jars of pickles? I've lost my place. Just to be evil, eh? Oh, is he going to possess the pickle? Don't you dare possess the pickle, Wick. Look at me. I'm Pickle Spence. Don't do that. For fuck's sake. Then he started grabbing up raw eggs from the refrigerator door and slamming them into his mouth. Why have we got... No, never mind. He smashed a Coke bottle on the side of the refrigerator, tilted his head back and drank the liquid down in a gulp. I see he's keeping a low profile. He tossed the bottle across the kitchen and stuffed a whole head of lettuce into his mouth. I took a few steps closer into the stare of refrigerator light. The ghoul tilted a jar of mayonnaise to his mouth and hungrily gulped it down. He was still licking mayonnaise from the side of the jar when he spotted me. So hungry, he murmured, in my voice. So hungry. I haven't eaten in over 200 years. Hey, Ross, a lot of weight then, eh? You're going to put it all straight back on again. He dropped the jar to the floor and stared down at me. I let out a cry when I saw his eyes. He had my face, my hair, my whole body, but the eyes were dead and blank. I stared into the two deep, dark holes, not to be confused with Dark Souls, holes as black as death. He bit off the top of a carton of buttermilk and tilted the carton over his mouth. Buttermilk ran down, said Dan again, his chin and puddled at his feet. I know who you are, he gurgled. You're wasting your time. I stared up at him, stared into those deep, dark holes where my eyes used to be. I suppose technically they're still there. A sick grin spread across his face. Want to know who I am? He asked. I'm you. No, I want my body back, I growled. The words came out in cat yowls, but they seemed to understand me. Go back to the graveyard, he said through clenched teeth. That's your home now. You're a graveyard ghoul. Curse you, back to the shadows. Turning to Gandalf. No, I choked out. Give me my body back. Ha, the ghoul laughed. You call this a body? This scrawny collection of bones? I don't want this body. He ripped the glasses from his face, threw them to the floor, and stomped on them. My glasses, I screamed. You don't have to do that. As soon as I finished eating, I know what else I'm going to do, he leered. I'm going to go out and find another body. A good, strong body. And I'm going to destroy yours. No, I screamed. I leaped at him. I landed on his leg and clung to it with 4 paws. I'm going back in, I decided. I'm taking my body back. But he grabbed me roughly by the back of his neck and pulled me up in front of his sneering face. Did you think it was going to be that easy? He smirked. Yeah, kinda. Don't you know who you're dealing with, kitty cat? I'm Oswald Mance. It's not really that creepy when you say it like that. What chance do you have against me? Holding me in front of him, the ghoul tightened his hand on the back of my neck. Tightened. Please, I murmured with my last breath. Please. He's definitely going to take it. He is, isn't he? I think we called it. I'm still wondering where his younger brother is, because it was a twin grave, as he established. So, is he going to come down and tell him to stop being a stupid little shit and go back to death? Maybe. Is that how they're going to get out of this pickle? Not the pickle that's been smashed on the floor. The other pickle. I would have said they're in a jam as well, but it was actually mayonnaise, not jam. Oh yeah, surprisingly, tea is still hot. 22. Electric Boogaloo. Pain shot through my body as the ghoul tightened his grasp on my throat. My fur bristled in panic. A door swung open in front of me. We were halfway down the basement stairs before I realised what was happening. He carried me across the dark basement to a corner behind the furnace. Holding me with one hand, he rustled something on the floor. I couldn't see it, but the sound sent a chill of fear down my back. I kicked hard with all 4 legs, but I couldn't kick free. And then, without warning, he let go. I fell hard into darkness. Darkness on all 4 sides. Blinking, I climbed to my feet and realised that he dropped me into the cardboard carton. The lid slammed shut over my head. I let out a yowl. The cardboard shook as he kicked it. I toppled onto my side. Don't cry, Kitty, I heard him say as he walked away. It's a waste of good suffering. You tried your best, but you lost. I stood in the carton, listening to the ghoul's footsteps stomp up the stairs. I heard the basement door close behind him. I haven't lost yet, I told myself. I clawed the inside of the box. I tried to chew it with my teeth. I tried clawing again, slashing at it until my nails ached and throbbed. This isn't going to work, I realised. I stared at the top of the carton. I tried pushing my head against the side. I can't escape, I decided. I'm too small. I'm not strong enough. I lowered my head sadly and felt something drop into my back. It prickled as it walked across my fur. Ooh! I let out a terrified moan. Like Frank Spencer. Ooh, Betty. I don't have to say it. I knew what it was. You want to guess what it is? A spider! It's going to possess a spider now. So that's now 3 animals who are now ghouls, because it's taken over now. It's causing loads of destruction, isn't it? 23! Okay, that's another really short chapter. What's that? A page. I raised my paw and batted the spider off my fur. It landed in front of me to the floor of the carton. Its legs scratched the cardboard as it moved, sending chills down my back. I got chills, they're multiplying. Oh, please, I thought. Why do I have to be trapped in here with a spider? It crawled steadily toward me. Closer. Closer. I can't take this, I thought. I raised a paw. I took a deep breath and started to bring it down on top of the spider. I'll squash it, I decided. I have to squash it. Don't hurt the fucking spoon, prick. My paw was nearly down on the carton floor, and something made me stop. An idea. An aspiration. Thank you for the down. Good thing I didn't kill it, I told myself. The spider is my way out of here. I rested my paw carefully, lightly on top of the spider, and I concentrated. Then it bit me and I died. I felt myself floating into darkness, floating into a tight, dark space. Yes, inside the spider now. Spider Frank. Stuck in a carton with a cat. The cat regains consciousness and eats the spider. That's the end. Oh no. Look out, there's no rest of the book. I tested the legs, took several spidery breaths. I felt light. I felt strong. I'll never be afraid of spiders again, I realised, because now I am one. I slid through the crack in the carton and began the long, long walk across the basement. How long did it take to climb up to my brother's room? I don't know, but it seemed to take forever. By the time I made my way across Jason's bedroom floor, my whole body pulsed and throbbed. I wanted to spin a web and disappear inside it for a long rest. But I forced myself to keep going. Using my last ounce of strength, I dragged myself up to the bedspread until I stood on his shoulder. Standing on the shoulders of giants, as it were. Jason slept soundly on his side. His mouth was slightly open. His curly dark hair matted against the pillow. I'm sorry about this, Jason, I said silently, but I need your body. I would never do this for my own brother if it wasn't a total emergency. I scuttled onto his cheek. I felt warm and soft until my hairy spider body. I pressed myself against his skin and concentrated. In a few seconds, I felt myself slipping down into the darkness. Jason didn't move. Jason didn't wake up. I'll give you your body back, I promised silently. As soon as I've captured my own body back, I'll return this one to you. How exactly are you going to do that? Because you just seem to be body hopping, so if you go into your body, how are you going to give it? I don't know how this works. I sat up, brushed back the curly dark hair, opened Jason's eyes. Wow, I uttered. A human word. In Jason's voice. I'm human again, but now Jason's a ghoul. Fucking hell, so the whole process just keeps going on and on. In fact, this kind of seems like a missed opportunity, because surely it's established he hates spiders a lot, and yes, he's possessed one, but shouldn't that be the last thing in the chain to make it like full circle, to like make it relevant? Surely that'll be how he does it. But no, they seem to have decided to not do it. That's what I'd have done. Hey ho, whoa, I uttered, a human word in Jason's voice. Wow. I'm human again. I jumped out of bed and nearly crashed into the wall. Jason's body was so heavy. Be careful, Spencer, I warned myself. You were just a tiny spider. Take your time. Yeah, you were a tiny spider for like 30 seconds. Get used to this big human body. But no. No time to get used to it, I realised. The ghoul said he was going to find a new body and destroy mine. I may already be too late. You're as bad as the other guy. You've possessed more people. The ghoul's only possessed one person. It was you. You've possessed a rat, a cat, a spider, and now Jason. You're worse. Man is the real villain. I ran from the bedroom and raced down the hall. Mom, Dad, I cried. Help me, Mom, Dad. I stopped halfway through the hall as a scream of horror rose up from the kitchen. My pickles. That's another chapter done. Jesus Christ. Chapter 24. 33. Oh, we're getting there, folks. Oh, by the way, this will be part of the Goosebumps playlist that I'll be putting up on YouTube. If you've not seen it, it's there. This will be the last one added. Happy days. Until I do the next one. I lurched down the stairs, stumbling, carrying my new heavy body like a big sack of flour. I stopped in the kitchen doorway. Mum and Dad stood bathed in the light from the open refrigerator door. Their faces were twisted in horror and shock. Their mouths hung open as they saw all the spilled food, broken glass, empty jars and bottles. Oh wow, I murmured. Mum turned to me. Jason! 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 Done that joke. Who did this? I have to tell you, I started to explain. Who did this? Who? Have you seen Spencer? Mum demanded. I'm Spencer, I declared. I had to borrow Jason's body. Jason, this is... so I had to stop and laugh at chat. I'm Spencer, I declared. I had to borrow Jason's body. Jason, this is no time for jokes, Dad cried. Look, I've been doing it for nearly 2 hours. I'm not stopping now, Dad. Look at this horrible mess. I'm not joking, I insisted. You've got to listen to me. I'm Spencer. A ghoul stole my body, so I had to take Jason's body. Not now, Jason, Mum interrupted. You can't, Dad. I told Spencer not to let him watch any more monster movies. You've got to listen to me, I shrieked on the top of Jason's lungs. I have to get my body back before the ghoul destroys it. I need your help. Go to your room, Dad snapped. He waved at me to the steps. Now, go now. We'll talk later. Mum and I have a big clean-up on our hands. Someone must have broken into the house. Are you not more concerned that your son, Spencer, is possessed and also has fucked off out the house late at night? Is that not only a cause of concern? Do you not care? I'm starting to think your parents are kids. But, I sputtered. I could see they weren't going to listen, so I turned and ran upstairs. I pulled on a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt. Then I grabbed Jason's Parker and raced out the front door. Parker, that's the scariest thing in this sofa. Someone has got to listen to me, I told myself. Someone has got to do something. Oh, I wonder who. I ran to the corner and stopped with a gas. My shoes crunched over broken glass. 2 cars parked at the curb had their windscreens shattered. The hoods and trunks were bent and battered, as if someone had taken a sledgehammer to them. I trotted past, being a horse again, staring up at the houses and garages. Flames rose out of the car in the next driveway. Garbage cans were overturned. The door to the next house stood wide open. I heard a baby crying inside. The front windows of the house after that were shattered. Bright orange flames blazed from the curtains. On the corner, flames shot out of the mailbox. Really? Did you mean to say there were flames coming out of the mailbox, not flames shot out? The mailbox can cast fireball. Exclamation, cast fireball. 2 more cars were battered, their windshields smashed to tiny shards of glass. From down the streets I heard angry cries and frightened shrieks. Shrill wails of panic filled the air. I saw people running in bathrobes and pyjamas. Fucking chaos is ensuing. At the end of the block, the woods were on fire. I saw a van on its side, tyres slashed. Heavy black smoke made me choke and cover my eyes. Hold on, did Osmond do all this in the space of like 2 minutes? Squinting through the smoke, I saw the ghoul, a shadowy figure moving through the flames, moving from house to house. For the fire and flames, we carry on, destroying everything in its path. In the distance, I heard the rise and fall of sirens, sirens on all sides, sirens to the left of me, sirens to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with ghouls. Fire engines, the police. It is all my fault, I thought, gripped with horror. All my fault. I knocked over that double gravestone. I gave him away out of the graveyard. The ghoul darted across the street. He rocked the car until he tilted onto its side. His high shrill laughter rose over the screams of horror from all the people in their houses. All my fault, all my fault, the words repeated in my mind. And then I saw me, my body. Hold on, you said your body was weak and that. You seem to be tipping over fucking cars. What? Ugh. To a fireman who may not have been called Sam, who was fighting one of the blazes, the ghoul reached out and snatched an axe from his hand. Hey, give that back! The fireman bolted forward to grab it. But the ghoul swung it wildly at him. The fireman backed off. The ghoul dashed down the street and swung an axe at the mailbox post. The post snapped in two. The mailbox clattered to the street. He charged up the garage and started chopping away at the garage door, splintering it, swinging again. Then I heard a fierce cry. Drop that axe! Put that axe down, now! I spun around and saw 2 dark uniformed police officers. Their faces grim, their eyes reflecting the flames of the house next door. Drop the axe, the officer repeated. He had a hand on his gun holster. The ghoul in my body whirled around. The dark, empty eyes glared at the 2 policemen, and then he swung the axe at an officer's head. Drop it, or we'll shoot! The officer boomed. No, I cried, hurtling over them. No, don't shoot, that's my body! Made it sound like a serial killer. No, I'm going to kill it. Get away, kid, an officer yelled. The ghoul swung the axe again. Don't shoot him, I screamed. We have no choice, the policeman cried. I froze in horror as they raised their guns. Oh, that's another chapter. Oh, this is a thrilling climax, isn't it? I'll give the book this. At least stuff is actually happening. The way it's written is terrible, but the stuff is actually going down. I've read worse, surprisingly. Chapter 25. No, well, that's my body, that's mine. Don't destroy it. Yes. Both officers turned to me. Are you crazy, kid? Get away from here, now. You'll spill hot tea on you. The officers and I turned back to the ghoul. He had vanished. I lowered my hands to my knees and struggled to catch my breath. The 2 officers took off to search for the ghoul. I heard screams at the fence coming from the next yard. Frank Foreman's yard. I still contain that is the name of a Resident Evil character. Can't you see it? It's like Barry Burton. Frank Foreman. I leaped over the fence and saw the ghoul demolishing the foreman's tool shed with the axe. I mean, is he breaking down the tool shed with an axe to get an axe? I ducked behind a tree and watched them, trying to figure out the best way to get my body back from him. In seconds, the shed sat in splinters. The shed did not shat in splinters. Don't read those two again. Two words together. The shed shat on the... In seconds, the shed sat in splinters. The ghoul murmured. Firewood. And then, before I could cry out, the ghoul lit a match and set... Where the fuck did he get a match? And set the fire ablaze. Dry wood shot off in flames instantly. Instantly? It doesn't work like that. It takes a while to get going. Especially if it's windy, like if it's been established. That's why it's blowing his ghost around. It'll take a while to go up. Did it pour it in gasoline or something? Sorry, petrol. I'm British. The ghoul stared deep into the fire, the flames reflecting in the dark holes that were once my eyes. A fire blazed up, the flames leaping to the branches of a nearby tree. A tree that hung directly over the foreman's house. Oh no, the foreman's house is going to catch on fire, I realised. Good. Fuck them. I better go in and warn them. As I darted from my hiding spot, Frank Foreman charged out from his back door. He came out of his own arse. What are you doing? He screamed at the ghoul in my body. Spencer, I'm going to kill you. The ghoul whirled around. He studied Frank, then he smiled his evil smile. Now that kid has a good body. Somebody called the police. This man's at least 200 years old. He's just told a child he's got a good body. Please, for the love of God, get the police there to shoot him. Dear me. Hey, have you heard about Prince Andrew getting his title stripped? What a quinky dink. Where was I? What are you doing here, screaming at the ghoul in my body? Spencer, I'm going to kill you. The ghoul rolled around. I read that bit. John Muscular, that's the body for Oswald Mance. Why don't you possess a police officer? He had a gun. Why don't you do that? The police officer would be fit. Frank bolted across the backyard. I'm going to pound you into the ground, Spencer, but first I'm going to break every bone in your body. No. I ran in front of Frank to block him. Call the police. That's what I just said. Call the fire department. Yes. Call the solicitor. Get help. As I argued with Frank, the fire spread across the lawn. I could feel the heat through my sneakers. Then, with a sudden burst, flames shot up in front of us. Whoa! Whoa. Frank leapt away. He's old, not smart, I suppose. I know who you are. The ghoul grabbed my jacket and jerked me away from the flames. I'm going to take over Frank's body, he whispered in my ear. Then I'm going to throw your body into the flames. Joke's on you. It's not my body. This is Jason's. Do what you like with it. 26. The fire roared in front of us. The wood planks of the shed crackled in the scorching blaze. The ghoul stepped up into the fire. He reached his arms out to the leaping flames. Want to watch your hands burn? He sneered. Say goodbye to your fingers, Spencer. No, I screamed. I grabbed the ghoul's arm and jerked him back. You're sick, Frank tackled the ghoul. He pinned his shoulders to the ground. Jason, he turned to me. I will hold him here. Get your parents. I started for... No, don't touch him. That's how he possesses you. I started for help, but I stopped when I heard Frank moan. My head. It hurts. It hurts so much. Let him go. I lunged for Frank and pulled him off the ghoul. He's trying to steal your body. You're as crazy as your brother. Frank jerked away from me. I'm calling the cops. He charged out of the backyard. There was a lot of jerking on there. I agreed. Charged at the backyard. The ghoul chased after him, but stopped when he saw Frank wave down a police car. I watched the ghoul turn quickly, jumped over some bushes and disappear from sight. Oh, he didn't possess it. I have to get my body back, but how, I asked myself. I need some help, but no one will believe me. No one will listen to me. Whoa, I murmured out loud. A face flashed into my mind. Audra's face. Audra was with me in the graveyard. She saw me tilt over the double gravestone. She saw Frank with pearls tie me to a grave. Maybe Audra will listen to me, I thought. Maybe Audra will believe me. There are two of us. People will have to listen. Oh, is he not going to possess Audra? Is he going to get his younger brother's ghost to possess her? Because she knocked over the gravestone too. Or jerked over the gravestone, probably. Jerked it down. Audra is my last hope. Help me, Audra. You're my only hope. My last hope. I raced down the street past burning houses and screaming people. Audra's block was bathed in darkness. The ghoul hadn't reached it yet. Yeah, maybe. I have to do it quick because there's only like 20 pages left. I sprinted up the steps to Audra's house. I peered into the front window. No lights on. Everyone must be asleep. I ran around to the back of the house. Audra's bedroom faced the yard. I gazed into her window. I could see her inside, covers pulled out from under her chin, sleeping peacefully on her back, her long black hair spread over the pillow. What a twist. Audra, I called softly. Audra, wake up. She couldn't hear me. I knocked on the window. She lifted her head off the pillow and squinted at me. Let me in, please. Audra slipped out of bed. She pushed open the window and I climbed inside. Already established a ghoul did that. Audra, it's me, Spencer, I choked out. Frantic to tell her my story. Frantic for her to believe me. I know I look like Jason. I had to borrow Jason's body. You see, the ghouls escaped. I mean, she rubbed her sleepy eyes. Jason, you're not making any sense. Isn't the whole street like on fire and there's police everywhere and tool sheds are like being broken down? Would that not people up? The whole street's in chaos. The forest's on fire. Would you not be awake? Again, I don't know how the ghoul managed to do all that in that space of time, but here we are. A ghoul stole my buddy. You're crazy, Audra's voice trembled. She took a step back. She reached behind her and clicked on the table light. Light flooded the room. Please, you have to help me, I gazed, pleading into her eyes. Her eyes, not pale green flecked with gold. No irises. No irises at all. Just holes in the centre of Audra's eyes. Deep, black holes. Hold on. Did he possess Audra and then go to sleep? What? I thought he was on a chaos rampage. I don't know. 27. I stared into the gaping black hollows that were once Audra's beautiful eyes. I know the truth. You're a ghoul, I cried. You've taken over Audra's body. And then I remembered the faint voice I heard in the cemetery, the voice calling to me, help me, please. Audra is trapped in the cemetery, isn't she? I shouted. She's up there now. That was Audra calling me, wasn't it? That doesn't matter anymore, does it? The ghoul grinned at me. It's Audra's turn to stay in the graveyard, and it's my chance to be alive. No. A hoarse cry of protest burst from my throat. I dove for the window. Two strong hands seized my shoulders and yanked me back into the room. Sorry, the ghoul whispers. I can't let you go. I'm never going back to the grave again. I don't want to be Martin Manson anymore. I'm Audra now. Oh, a transgender ghost. That's pretty neat. Well done. Martin Mance, I guess. Yes, the ghoul spun me around. I watched in horror as the black circles of his eyes turned to liquid, spread like pools of ink, filled up his eyes, filled them until the whites were completely gone. The ghoul inhaled deeply, then, grabbing my waist, lifted me off my feet and held me across the room. Ooh. Said that in such a camp way. Ooh. I uttered a groan of pain as my head slammed hard against the wall. I crumbled to the floor. The world tilted away. I saw a flash of bright red blood. And then everything faded to black. But you just said it was red. You can't have red and black. Unless you're Dennis the Menace's jumper. That's actually a half-decent twist for Goosebumps. Mum, she was already possessed this whole time. Audra's been possessed. So she was possessed before Frank was. Sorry, Spencer was. Or Frank Spencer was. I'm still waiting for Frank Spencer to turn up. And Betty. I'm waiting for it. It might happen. Right, sip of tea. Guys, do you want to guess if the tea's hot or not? You know what? I'll let you guess. Exclamation down. Chapter 28. Pain throbbed through my head, down my neck. I struggled to open my eyes. A knock on the bedroom door snapped me alert. Audra, what was that noise? Her mother called from the hall. I heard a loud thud. The door swung open. The ghoul rushed towards Audra's mother. Would you believe it, Mum? I fell out of bed. Are you okay? Her mother asked her. This is my chance, I thought. Shaking off the pain, I pulled myself to my feet. I lurched out the window. I could hear the startled cries behind me. I glanced back once to see if the ghoul was following me. I didn't see him, so I took off. I raced up the steep slope of Highgrave Hill. Yeah, I pronounced it correctly that time. That'll probably be the last time. The grass was slick and wet with early morning dew. The moon was fading in a brightening sky. Although I got to get to him before night times. And yes, it was. Below me, I heard a wail of sirens. I could see walls of flame. Black smoke choked the sky. Turned into a death metal album. I approve. Gasping, my heart throbbed in my chest. I ran up to the graveyard gate. I have to find Audra. Together we'll beat these two ghosts. We'll get our bodies back, I thought. I know we can do this together. I burst through the grate and stopped. Graveyard ghouls hovered over their tombstones. Bodies! Bodies, they moaned. We want bodies too. In that voice. A boy about my age floated towards me. The skin on one of his cheeks hung loosely off the bone. I want your body, he rasped. No, an old woman cried. His body is mine. I'm not going to bring up the same point I brought up a couple of chapters ago. I want your body. The other ghouls moved in. They formed a circle around me, danced their bony hands, joined and began their eerie dance. I want your body and nobody needs somebody. They chanted as their try to read me. They chanted as their legs shuffled stiffly. Shuffled stiffly. Stifler from American Pie. Suddenly I felt dizzy. My legs weakened. I couldn't move. Their Dance of Death, which is an album by Iron Maiden, held me in a trance. Stop, I cried. Don't do this to me. You're a ghoul, the boy rasped. You're just like us. You're a graveyard ghoul. No, I cried, and with a burst of energy I broke free from their spell. I charged through the circle. Audra, I shouted. Are you here? Audra. Silence. Audra, I cried, running through the rows of graves. Audra, it's me. I'm Mario. Jason. I heard a voice, soft and weak. Over here, under the big willow tree. I turned and charged towards the voice. I stumbled across the gravestone, and it toppled to the ground with a heavy thud, and I fell on top of it. Oh no, not another one, I muttered. I started to scramble to my feet in the fading moonlight, and the words engraved on the stone caught my eye. Defeat death only by living. What does that mean? It means, going out, having a good time. Or either that or living. Going out by living. Go see a gig. I wondered. I stood up, pulling dead leaves from my hair. Jason, over here. Jason. Audra's weak cry. It's me, Spencer, I called to her. I had to borrow Jason's body. Where are you, Audra? Right here, next to you. But I can't figure out how to move. I feel like air. I'll help you, I said. I'll get you out of here. How? She asked. I swallowed hard. Well. Then I heard a noise from the graveyard gate. I turned towards the sound and saw a large black dog, a black lab, oh, how fucking convenient, come loping into the cemetery. He wandered towards us, head bent, sniffing graves along the way. Yes, I happily cried. And dog. Woof. So what? Audra whispered. You can slip into his body, I told her. Phrasing. How? You just have to concentrate, I told her. You can use the dog's body to take you to town. Then maybe we can get our own bodies back. My voice trailed off. It was a big maybe. Hashtag doggo. Can I really take over the dog? Audra asked in a tiny voice. You have to, I replied, and we have to hurry before the ghouls get this body too. I reached out to my... Now, sorry, tangent. Wouldn't this not be better if he was still possessing the cat? Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. And maybe we can get our own bodies back. My voice trailed off. It was a big mistake. Can I really take over the dog? Audra asked in a tiny voice. Yeah, I've read that bit. I reached out my hand to pet the doggo and keep him calm while Audra slipped into his body. Nice doggo. Nice boy. Good girl now, actually. I repeated softly. He raised his smooth black head. Her. He gazed up at me, then spun around and looked away. I fucked off. I told you I abandoned you twice. Is that twice you've done it? Don't like him. Chapter 29. 4 chapters to go. Ooh, spooky. 4 is the spookiest number of chapters with. I've just decided this second. 29. Get him! Audra cried. He brings us love. Get him. The dog trotted towards the gate. I started after him. I stopped when I spotted something white poking up from the dirt. A bone! I stopped and yanked it out of the ground. Yes, a bone. I'll wrap it up. There's only 14 pages left. A human bone that made me think, made me shudder. I let out a long, loud whistle. The dog stopped. He turned and gazed at me. I waved the bone in the air like I just don't care, and he came trotting back. I held it out to him and let him sniff it. Quick, Audra, do it now! Do it now! I whispered, slip into his body. I don't know how. Audra wailed. How do I turn into a dog? It's impossible. Just concentrate. Concentrate on moving into him, and you'll do it. You'll see. I feel like the urgency of the situation has got sidetracked ever so slightly by dog possession. I waited for Audra to make her move. The dog licked at the bone. Hurry, Audra. The dog ran his big wet tongue over my fingers. Audra, where are you? Scooby-Doo, where are you? I'm here, concentrating. You've got to try. I'm trying, Audra tried. I'm trying as hard as I can, but it's just not working. Think, Audra. Just think about slipping into him. Don't do that. I urged. The dog rubbed his head against my arm. He unfurled his tongue again and licked my wrist. Then suddenly, his body stiffened. He's dead. He jumped down hard on my hand. Ow! I let a short cry and jerked my hand away. Jerking again. The dog growled. He shook his body back and forth as if fighting an invisible enemy. That's it, Audra. You're doing it. Don't give up, I cried. The dog twisted furiously. He fell to the ground and rolled over and over. He kicked out his legs, grew fiercely, and his body went limp. Turned out he was having a seizure. I know the phrase is terrible. I swear it's not me. I'm not down with that. He kicked out his legs, grew fiercely, and his body went limp. Audra, are you in there? I stared at a moving dog. He opened his mouth in a soft yip, and I knew Audra had made a move. She was in the dog's body. Yes, I shouted. Let's go. We tore through the cemetery and I raced down Highgrave Hill. The sky was turning morning pink. A red sun hung low, rising over the town. As we neared the bottom of the hill, we heard the screams, the cries for help, the sirens. Police cars, fire engines, and ambulances choked the streets. Flames shot at houses. All the houses were on fire. When the fuck did that happen? And store windows. Nobody has security in their houses. Black smoke billowed up from the burning buildings. Look, I pointed to a house totally destroyed by flames. It was Frank Foreman's house. He stood outside with his family. They huddled together, staring in disbelief at the ruins. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for everyone. I turned to Audra, loping beside me. What are we going to do? I asked. What can we possibly do? I mean, she's a dog and can't talk. Oh well. Tea break. Chapter 30. We're getting there. We ran for the streets, through the trail of destruction. My jaw dropped as I gawked at the wreckage. Street signs lay scattered on the ground, hacked off at the tops. Lights had been ripped free from their wiring. Mailboxes had been completely destroyed. Windows were smashed. Shards of glass carpeted the streets. I ran by an overturned car parked on someone's lawn. I passed it. It burst into flames. That's convenient. Not for you, though. We turned into my block, only to hide out in displays. There they are. There's the fuckers. Audra and Spencer, our bodies, axes in hand, running side by side at my front lawn. Come on, Audra, I cried in panic. They're going to wreck my house. The Spencer ghoul raised his axe and smashed through our front door. The Audra ghoul... Hold on, have you not already passed his house? Why are you... Whatever. The Audra ghoul heaved his axe through the living room window. I heard shrill screams inside. Remy and Charlotte's screams. Through the smashed window, I could see them holding each other in the centre of the room. Jason, help us! Remy spotted me outside and cried out in fear. Spencer has gone crazy. That's a bit of an understatement. I saw Mum and Dad rush in from the kitchen. They called Remy and Charlotte away from the window. The two ghouls leapt through the broken window. Audra and I charged in after them. I had no plan. I didn't know how to fight the ghouls. I just know I had to stop them from hurting my family. Spencer, what's wrong with you? Give me the axe right now. Dad was screaming at the ghoul. I'm really surprised that that worked. Give me an axe. Oh, okay. I've been a right little tit, haven't I? Yes, you have. Go to your room and think about what you've done. Mum let out a terrified shriek as the ghouls raised their axes in the air. No, I wailed, diving towards them. Jason, run! Mum pleaded with me. Go get help. Audra, inside the lab, lowered her head and let out a low, menacing howl. Then she barked ferociously at the ghouls. The two ghouls spun around to face us. I took a deep breath. Go back to the cemetery where you belong, I screamed. Give us back our bodies and go back to your graves. The two ghouls grinned at each other. Spencer, Audra, what's wrong with you? Dad cried. Put down the axes and let's talk. Dad, I'm Spencer, I tried. I tried to tell you, these aren't Spencer and Audra. They're Oswald and Marty Mance. They're ghouls. Mum and Dad exchanged confused glances. Remy and Charlotte pressed their backs against the wall. Get out of there, I screamed at the ghouls. Stop it. Stop it at once. The Spencer ghoul let out a ferocious cry. He swung his axe down on the coffee table and split it in two. Split the axe in two, or the coffee table in two. Remy and Charlotte burst into tears. Mum and Dad, mouths open in horror, stepped back to protect them. Laughing, the two ghouls raised their axes and chopped at our piano. I stood helplessly, thinking hard, frantically trying to come up with a way to stop them. With a fierce growl, Audra leapt to the attack. She drove at the ghoul in my body. Well, in my body. It's getting confusing. And sank her teeth into his leg. He cried out in surprise. The axe fell from his hands. What do you cry out in pain, not surprise? Snarling, Audra bit into the leg. The ghoul twisted and turned. He thrashed his arms wildly, tilting back his head in a howl of pain. As he struggled, the Audra ghoul menaced my family, holding the axe high in front of him. The dead shall live, and the living shall die. But then they'll be dead, so they'll live again. By that logic. Audra, what are you saying? Mum stammered. Please, stop this. We don't understand, Dad cried. What do you kids want? Why are you doing this? The Spencer ghoul uttered an angry cry. He kicked hard and freed his leg from Audra's teeth. Then he bent down, picked up the black lab, and heaved it against the wall. Not the doggo. The Audra ghoul handed him his axe. Then her eyes narrowed coldly as they turned to me. Get him, the Spencer ghoul said through his gritted teeth. No, that didn't answer his question. So even if it does take his body back, he's got a massive dog bite in his arm. And now probably has rabies. I look forward to that. Chapter 31. Ooh, uttering a low cry, I turned and bolted out of the house. The two ghouls lumbered after me. Don't let me get away, the Spencer ghoul growled. I ran down the front lawn. Heavy grey clouds covered the morning sun. What a terrible night to have a curse. I could hear sirens in the distance. Give me back my body. Who said that? The shrill cry made me stop. I glanced around, but I didn't see anyone. Give me back my body, the voice repeated. So close, right next to me. Jason, is that you? I choked out. Yes, I want my body back. The two ghouls raised their axes as they closed in on me. Not now, I cried. Jason, please, not now. Yes, now, he insisted. I need my body. I'm taking it back. I hope you kept the receipt. Jason, not now, I screeched. The ghouls stepped closer, and I felt something heavy pushing down on my head. Jason, pushing down on me. That was the shortest chapter by far. That's not even a page. Look. Starts there. Ends there. I've got 2 chapters to go. It's nothing. I was going to say there's only 3 pages left. 5 pages left, I can't get. 3 of actual text on, I suppose. 32. Jason, please, I guessed, but he pressed down heavily. I tried to fight back. Concentrated, but my right arm started to pump up and down. Pump up the jam. Jason had taken over one arm. Then my left leg started to bend. It kicked hard. Jason stopped, I begged. He had taken over half the body. I swung my arm, bobbed the head up and down, bent and twisted, trying to toss him out, tried to take back control. Jason! I could feel myself growing weaker, feel him moving in, taking command. I glanced up to see the ghouls stop and stare, their black eyes bulged wide, watching Jason and me struggle. I swung one arm, I dragged their leg, I tried to move away. Jason fought back, moving one leg. As we struggled, the body did a strange dance. Maybe stared, my body watched in shock and horror from the... Are you going to beat him with dance? Don't do that. I hip-topped over the grass, swinging one arm. Jason made the body hop back, then skip. A wild dance. A frantic dance. And then suddenly I heard a groan of pain. Are you actually going to beat him with dance? I looked up and saw the ghouls shut their eyes. They both opened their arms in long, low growls. They clutched their stomachs. What is happening? I wondered. Jason and I continued our wild dance, struggling for control of the body, flapping our arms, bending our knees, hopping and skipping in a desperate rhythm. And to my shock, both ghouls dropped weakly to their knees on the grass. The axes fell from their hands. They rolled their eyes and uttered fainted moans. I kicked and tossed an arm. 2 ghouls groaned again. It's the dance. It is, isn't it? I realized. The crazy dance. The dancing is making them weak. And then the strange words on the gravestone returned to me. The words I hadn't understood. Defeat death only by living. What is a better sign of being alive than dancing, I asked myself. What a fucking cop-out. So, yes, dancing. When people dance, it means they're really alive. I did it. I figured out how to defeat Oswald Mance. I had always hated dancing. I never danced, as we're establishing right now. But now I knew I had to dance and never stop. I'm going to get my body back, I shouted to the ghoul. It's my body now, the ghoul moaned. No one beats Oswald Mance, no one. I kicked my legs and waved my hands. I snapped my fingers and moved my body in a wild, frantic rhythm. Stop, the ghoul crushed his chest in agony. It's my body now. I grabbed the black lad by the front paws, pulled her up on the hind legs and danced with her. Danced. Till moaning and crying, the 2 ghouls shut their eyes and collapsed to the grass. Yes, we defeated them. We did it, Audra, I cried, letting go of our paws. We did it. I wanted to shout and laugh and sing. I wanted to dance until I couldn't dance any more. But then I turned to my body and Audra's body and my heart sank. They lay face down, arms and legs sprawled over the grass, lifeless, so totally lifeless. Too late, I thought. Too late to slip back in. Audra and I are doomed. No bodies. We'll be shadows too. Nothing but shadows forever. Oh, one chapter left. But it's so sweet. Thank you for the bits. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We have got one chapter to go. Happy Halloween to you too. I'll give a full costume reveal at the end of this stream. And by the end of the stream, I mean we've literally got less than a page to go. This is the smallest chapter in the world. How does it end? Are you ready, guys? I think we're going to take a big sip of tea. But it does seem to be dancing that has stopped them. At least at the minute. Unless it all changes within the last literal one page. Let's go then. Chapter 33. Staring at my lifeless body on the grass, I floated out of Jason's body. He instantly charged. I watched him test his hands, bend his knees, open and close his mouth. I'm me, he declared happily. But would I ever be me again? Come on, Audra, I urged the dog. Hurry. Maybe we're not too late. Maybe we can be ourselves again. Maybe we can do it, if we try. The dog trotted behind me. I floated over my body. Please, please, I cried. Let me back in. I concentrated. Felt myself slipping down into a deep darkness. Exclamation down. I opened my eyes. I saw the clouds roll away. Bright sunlight beamed down on us, spreading over the lawn. We made it, Audra. We made it back just in time, I shouted. Oh, last paragraph. I felt so happy. I jumped down. It didn't really do that. I jumped up and down. I spun in a circle and let my skirt twirl towards me. Huh? I glanced down at my purple hair, my purple tights, my silky black blouse, my bright blue nail polish. I touched my head and ran my head through my long silky black hair. Whoa! I turned into Audra, but Audra wasn't there beside me. I was staring at myself. Audra, I said, tossing back my black hair, I think we've made a little mistake. What do we do now? Oh, that's it. That's the end. So he going to the wrong body. Right. So the middle bit was okay. That was an ending. That was very abrupt. So dancing stopped the ghouls. How did they? Right. What kind of dance were they doing? Because it was just them fighting over a body, which was basically squirming. So, what about everyone else in like the street panicking? They're pretty alive, and they're fighting. What is fighting apart from dance, but more violent? Is that not dancing? And if they defeated the dead, like if they defeated the ghouls, like the evil ones, the man's twins, right? How does that not affect the other guys? Surely everyone would be screaming in pain. Surely. That would be the case, right? Because they're possessed too. Did that not work? Also, you had an entire graveyard full of ghouls, right? Why aren't they possessing everyone if everyone else can, right? You'll have every dead person trying to possess people at all times. They would never die. Everyone would just be possessing each other all around. Basically, every human body would just be like a timeshare scheme. And what about the poor rat and the cat? Do they get their bodies back? Never brought up. No idea. I just assume they're dead. And he killed a poor little worm. That worm's not getting its life back. Which means, I know it's only a worm, but that means this is one of the few Goosebumps books that's actually got a casualty in it. Kind of. The main character is responsible for literal murder. So that's fun in a children's book. That could have been so good. I mean, it had problems. It really did use its repetitive language a lot. It kept saying the same thing over and over again. And the book's only 116 pages, and that's with half the pages being blank. So really, it's like 80, 85 pages, all in all. And they felt spread out. They had half a book, and they were trying to pad it out so much. Is that a newer one? You need to find the old school ones. Oh, and then don't you worry, I've got the old ones. I've got a whole playlist. How about that one? There you go. I ain't done that one yet. We'll do that one day, shall we?